Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show, live on your YouTube machine. Hello, happy Tuesday. Here on the Monty Show, as always, we are presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. You guys, I say it every single day. The Advocates, they have seen everything that you could be involved in, whether it's workman's comp, a motorcycle accident. Jake and I were talking about it driving down the road today. I'm a defensive driver now because I feel like you're a sitting duck. If you've been in an accident, don't reach into your pocket and cut a check. No. Get to theadvocates.com where you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Yes, I see all the tweets, all the people asking, hey, are you guys going to talk about Aaron Rodgers today?
No, we're not going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's only the biggest news in sports. You know, why would we talk about him?
That kind of sounds familiar. Yeah, how about the NFL karma gods coming back to get A-Rod last night for the Jets? Now we know, by the way, if you did not hear, it is official. Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, announced today that Aaron Rodgers has a torn left Achilles tendon. He is done for the year, and at 39 years of age, one has to wonder, is he done forever in the NFL after 4 snaps? We'll talk about all of that. But today we want to start the show talking about the Pac-12, and again, maybe it is the football gods coming back, but it certainly feels like the Pac-12 is dominating college football. We're going to talk about TV ratings coming up, but when you are Colorado and Nebraska and you damn near draw as much as Alabama and Texas did, that is an accomplishment for the Pac-12. And you may say, hey, that's going to be the Big 12 next year. But right now it's the Pac-12. And the question that we've been contemplating now for a couple of weeks, is this version of the Pac-12 the best college football conference in the country? And I don't even know that it's debatable at this point. When you look at the performance that Oregon put in Lubbock, sorry to all of our Texans on the show today, but you look at the performance that Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks put in against Texas Tech in Lubbock, that's an impressive win. You look at what USC has done, and don't look now, and Jake, I'm sure that this is going to upset you as I say this out loud. USC's defensive metrics actually look like they are dramatically improving, albeit against not the best talent in the world, but they are dramatically improving the last 2 weeks. I also think that Michael Penix, as much as he did come back to earth this past weekend, Washington looks good. Obviously, the Utes, without Cam Rising and Brant Kuithe, they are 2-0. This is an impressive start for the Pac-12, but Jake, do you agree? Is the Pac-12 the best conference in the country?
Yeah, I mean, I think top to bottom, it's still, it has the most quality in it. I mean, obviously, the Big 12 with Texas has something to say. The SEC's got something to say. Obviously, the Big 10. But, I think that the Pac-12, top to bottom is the most quality conference still. Yes, there are other teams in other conferences that are better than the best Pac-12 team. You can make a case if you're a Longhorns fan that you guys are better than SC, or, that Georgia's better than SC, or Ohio State. Nobody in the ACC is better than SC, right? So to me, it's very much a thing where in the Pac-12's last year of existence, they are, seemingly the best college football conference in the country. And I think that, whether it's Washington and Penix, I mean, if he's having an average week, I'll take 43 points. Anybody not taking 43 points out of your offense and your starting quarterback, because I'm taking that. I think Utah is still the biggest question mark of the top teams in the conference. This game they're playing with Cam Rising, I don't understand why it continues. Now, obviously, I think you got Weber State this coming week. That's a gimme. You're going to beat up on them, no problem. Good opportunity for Nate Johnson to start a game. All right, cool. But when we get to, Pac-12 competition, when we get to the best of the best, I would expect Cam Rising to play. But now I have questions about, hey, what kind of Cam Rising are we going to get? Because now he's missed significant time. So we'll see about that. But, I look at this Bo Nix performance in Oregon versus Texas Tech. That was a big win, to go in there, win on the road. That's impressive stuff. Oregon State had UC Davis, but still – it's 55-7. SEC fan is used to this kind of stuff. Hey, we're way better than everyone we play. We're putting up 50+. We're controlling the game. Just is what it is. So when I look up and down this conference schedule, dude, Colorado, not only did you draw one of the top TV audiences of the week, you handled Nebraska in the second half. Wasn't close. Dominated that team. So, yeah, I think the Pac-12, it's kind of difficult to say that the Pac-12 is not the most talented, the best, the most efficient at winning football games, top to bottom conference right now of the Power Fours. And yes, I said Power Fours because the conference doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting this position the Pac-12 is in. And if we look at Pac-12 power rankings, I don't have any doubt that USC and Washington are the two best teams in this conference. Is Utah better than Oregon right now? Man, I think that's an awfully difficult thing to say, that Utah is better than Oregon, because Oregon is at full strength with Bo Nix offensively. Cam Rising hasn't played a snap. So I think I would put Oregon third there behind Washington. But it's wild to me that you have a lot of media members putting Colorado fourth in the Pac-12. I don't see how in the world you can put Colorado. And yes, it's 2 wins, and they are 2 very good wins. How can you put Colorado ahead of a dominant Utah team, especially with the way that Utah's defense has performed so far? I think it's all hype.
Well, I just don't think that Utah has been, in the Florida game. Okay, yeah, sure, you beat Florida. You handled them. Absolutely.
Certainly.
But I don't think that this Baylor game was dominant by any stretch of the imagination. I think you made plays defensively. You expect guys like Cole Bishop to perform. Utah's defense played well, but the idea that this game in Waco came down to the last play is crazy. I mean, again, it's this whole quarterback thing. If Cam Rising's playing, this is 35 points. This isn't 20, right? So that's why I think Colorado is ahead of Utah in the power rankings, because, again, Colorado is out here putting up 36 after they put up, 50-something?
Yeah.
I just think that Colorado has been the flashier team. Colorado has much more momentum. It kind of feels like, and again, I know it's crazy to say, but it kind of feels like Utah is sort of doing the best they can with what they have to work with without Cam Rising and Brant Keithley.
And
I
see,
think that's
I'm not willing to put flash ahead of substance. That's my biggest issue with Colorado. And I love Coach Prime, and I love, what Shedeur and Hunter, and I love what that entire team is doing. But it's all flash right now. And yes, I believe that Shedeur Sanders should be one of the top Heisman candidates right now. And yes, I believe that the offense has staying power. You win championships with defense. And I think that Colorado's defense has got a lot to prove that they can play at the top of this conference. They have not seen nearly the best that the Pac-12 has to offer. And I think that they're not as good as Utah, certainly. I don't think the bigger question is Colorado or Washington State. I think that is really close. I think that is a shootout game. After that, I don't know what to make of. I don't know what to make of Oregon State right now. UC Davis does not impress me. Like that win, hey, that's great. You're playing lower level teams. But I don't know that when October rolls around, that when November rolls around, that Colorado's better than Oregon State. In fact, I think I'd be pretty confident in saying that they won't be better than Oregon State.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the questions about the defense, obviously are legitimate. It's true. You haven't played the best that the Pac-12 has to offer. But, look, I just think that people are confident in Colorado's ability to score. I have no doubt that Colorado can hang offensively, can hang with SC. I think Shedeur Sanders' ability to run away from people and then throw it down the field is elite. Now, he's not as good as Caleb Williams, certainly, right? Caleb Williams is better at it than Shedeur is, but I think Shedeur's first year coming into the game, I like what I see. And I think that's why Nebraska lost that game so handily. They couldn't tackle the guy. And so, is Colorado going to go out and beat SC? I don't know. Probably not. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to give SC everything they can handle because, again, and I know, hey, stats say SC's defense is better. Show me. Shut down a high-powered offense. Show me that you can handle Shedeur. Show me that you can trick him, that you can do what Texas did to Jalen Milroe, right? Show me that you can do those things.
Well, I don't even know that that's a fair comparison. I think Jalen Milroe is a very interesting. Did you guys see he got a huge NIL deal that popped off today? Like, I think Jalen Milroe's not prepared to play football at this level. I think Shedeur Sanders is a Heisman Trophy candidate. My only questions about Colorado are going to be how long their defense can hold up and what happens when Hunter gets hurt, because that's coming. You don't play hundreds of snaps a week and think that you're not going to get hurt. I think it is absolute lunacy to have him playing that many snaps offensively, because he is a dominant player defensively. To have him playing that many snaps is wild to me. But hey, that's why I'm a talk show host and not a football coach. And I look at some of the other things, like you look at the Big 12 versus the Pac-12. Who is right now the best team in the Big 12? Is anybody going to argue it's Texas?
No.
I think it's Texas by a lot. I think the gap is massive. I don't think it's even close. I think K-State is a distant number 2. If I had to say it right now today, I'd have to pick Kansas probably 3rd. I think, Oklahoma is a really interesting question. I see everybody's got Oklahoma in the top 5 in the Big 12. I don't know if I'm convinced of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that offense can. I don't know if that offense can hold up. I know that UCF without John Reese Plumlee is screwed. That you're not recovering from that loss.
Facts.
I'd have pushed UCF to the top 5 in this conference before his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Early here in the season. But I also wonder about TCU. I'm not ready to throw dirt on top of TCU at this point. 3 weeks into the season, I'm not ready to do that. Obviously, the Colorado loss exposed you quite a bit. Hey, and I'm down with that. Obviously, you're going through changes, especially in offense. Hey, I'm down with all that. I'm not the guy throwing dirt on top of TCU. I am not. I think that this is going to be a completely different team a month from now, in the middle of October, TCU is going to be a far better team than they are now. I have zero faith in Texas Tech to bounce back here, although here we are today, and what happened in Lubbock today? Yeah, they signed one of the top wide receiver talents in the country.
Hey, guys.
I mean, unbelievable. Turned down Texas, turned down A&M, and is going to Texas Tech, which is a huge win for Joey McGuire. Huge win. But Tyler Shuck is a huge problem. As big of a win that is, Tyler Shuck's just as big a problem. He is what ails Texas Tech's offense right now.
Yep.
And until you change that, I don't put Texas Tech ahead of the Baylors. I don't put Texas Tech ahead of, are they ahead of Iowa State? I think they are. Are they ahead of, certainly not TCU. Certainly not, I don't know, Texas Tech or UCF?
Probably Texas Tech.
Without Plumlee, I think it's Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Right? But Oklahoma State, Oklahoma State doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, still a nice win, though. I mean, still, and I know it's Arizona State. I know that that's a troubled program, if you will. But I still think that, that's a solid win. I mean, again, there were questions as to whether you were going to win that game or not when you went out to the desert. So I was pretty happy with what I saw at Oklahoma State. I agree they need to figure out a quarterback because you can't play three.
You know the team that I don't think any of us have an idea on? Who is Iowa State? I know it's wild, and you think I'm probably stupid. How bad is Iowa State? You know who else we don't know a thing about? Who's Cincinnati? And you know that I'm a huge Satterfield guy.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I don't know who Cincinnati is at this point. Emory Jones, has there been a more refreshing performance at quarterback in this conference other than Emory Jones in the Big 12 this year? I think I could argue he's one of the better quarterback stories in the league.
Yeah,
and I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that the Big 12, generally speaking, has a good bit of talent in it at quarterback. I mean, there are guys all around this league that, what could be a problem for most defenses. But I think the difference is that you have teams like, Texas and Oklahoma and even Baylor. Throw Baylor in there, right? That all have different reasons for why they need to win right now. I mean, obviously Texas and Oklahoma want to go out on a high note. Obviously, Oklahoma's looking to put this Art Briles thing behind them.
Good luck.
So they're going to be motivated. And obviously Texas with this big win on the road is going to be motivated to try to get into the college football playoff, which I think they got a good shot to do as long as, nothing goes sideways and you handle your business. But even like Baylor losing this game to Utah.
Yep.
Like if you don't have incentive to win now, if you ain't got motivation now, I don't know what it's going to take because at this point, you have to think that Dave's coaching for his job.
Yeah, I don't know if at the bottom of the conference is where I always go when we talk about strength.
Yeah.
Is West Virginia better than Iowa State? Is Houston the team that we saw lose to Rice, who dug themselves a massive hole to start that game? Is Houston a good team or a bad team? Because right now I think you got to put them in the bottom three teams. I think Iowa State, West Virginia, and Houston have to be in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State or BYU? Well, BYU because they have a better quarterback, and I don't think Iowa State's got a very good quarterback right now.
Yeah.
He threw a terrible pick six, man. My God. Every time I feel like I want to say something nice about Iowa State, something stupid like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Who's BYU right now? Is BYU a top half of the Big 12 team right now?
I mean, I don't think we can confidently say that yet. I think that we need to see if BYU can figure out how to run the football. I think they deserve a lot of credit for the adjustments in the offensive game. Obviously there were a ton of questions after the 14-point performance, and then you threw 40, and answered some of those questions. Now, obviously wasn't against some premier Big 12 team, but I think that if you show that better play calling opens the offense and allows Keaton Slovis to get the ball down the field, what does that look like against a legit defense? What does that look like against a more competent team? So, yeah, I mean, I think BYU still has to prove they're a top half of the Big 12 team, but I think they're pushing.
You need to run out some healthy wide receivers, by the way.
I would agree with that,
Let's
yes.
get crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe Cody Epps, an NFL receiver, needs to play a game for BYU before we figure out who their offense is.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean when I say they deserve credit for the adjustments they made. I mean, again, you looked unimaginative. You looked boring. And then you come out and it's like, oh, we're pushing. We're going down the field. Like, things are great. And now everyone wants to complain about the run game. So I think they just got to find that balance. And as I say every single day on this show, like the balance between the pass game and the run game depends who you're playing. I mean, again, if you're going to play a team that's got a stout front four, you're probably not going to run as much. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I am really curious to see. Like the Oklahoma schools, Oklahoma State doesn't have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I think all three of those dudes, Gunnar Gundy has looked at times terrible. And at other times, he's looked like their most competent quarterback. Like,
because it's garbage.
I don't know who your number one there is. I don't know. The SMU game for Oklahoma, I think they got exposed offensively. Because I don't believe that SMU is a good team. I think they're competitive. They're not good.
Flash.
They're not good. SMU is not somebody who you should be like, well, it was SMU. We had to fight. Well, that tells me something about you, not about SMU. You're Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And the Art Briles thing, listen, I think this is a bigger story in Norman than we know, because the Norman, Oklahoma Big 12 media base is talking a lot about that situation. And I think Mr. Levy may find himself out of a job. Honest to goodness.
Yeah, he ain't going to go that far.
Yeah, I think that display post-game really hurt him.
Yeah.
I was really, really disappointed.
He was a little more aggressive than I thought he'd be. He was a little more brash than I thought he'd be about it.
Yeah, he wanted to just write that off, and I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that. But I think there is no doubt that Texas, by far, is the best team in this conference. I think K-State's number 2, and then I think Kansas is 3. And it's no surprise those are the 3 best quarterbacks in the league.
Yep.
There's no surprise
100%.
at all. And I think when we're talking about what Jalen Daniels did for Kansas, again, nobody's talking about that kid. Nobody. And I don't think that Jalen Daniels, I don't think that Devin Neal, I don't think those guys get the credit that they deserve, because what I've seen from Jalen Daniels this year, he's a better quarterback than I thought he would be this year. Mm-hmm. You knew there would be growth. You thought when you looked at him specifically, you thought there would be growth and development. This is far more than anybody thought.
Yeah.
He looks like a better polished quarterback to me right now. And I think those 3 teams, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that, whether it's the Big 12 or the Pac-12, the bottom half of your conference has to continue to get better. And I think the Big 12 is going through this thing where you've just expanded, you just added these new brands, and they're trying to prove themselves. Again, it's the old BYU conversation, right? Can BYU be bowl eligible? How far can you take it in year one? And I think that, obviously we're going to get Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC next year asking that same question. But now we get to sit here and say, yeah, dude, Texas is SEC good. Texas can go out and beat Alabama, can go out and at a minimum compete with Georgia. Can they beat Georgia? I don't know. You have to prove that. But you can definitely compete with Georgia. And that's why I say I think that the Big 12 has the hammer as far as best team. But I think that the Pac-12 overall, top to bottom, is a better conference.
Yes.
There are good teams all over the board that can beat you on any given Saturday. And I think that's what's tough about the Pac-12.
And while you talk about the SEC, I am not sold on Georgia. I know. I should just not say it out loud.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I cannot believe that they've given up points to UT Martin and Ball State. Those are 2 terrible teams. They looked disinterested in both of those games. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that South Carolina, I think it's South Carolina this weekend, is some huge fight for them. I'm not saying that. But at some point, this slow start BS is going to come back to get Georgia.
Yeah. Yep.
And when I look at the East, they're going to run away with the Florida is an awful football team. I mean, an awful football team.
Because it's garbage.
and South Carolina is not much better. So I don't see Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, Vandy. That division's over. The biggest question I have is Auburn capable? What is LSU? How do they bounce back? How far off is Alabama right now? Is Jalen Milroe, is he an October, November blossom? Or is he just
better be.
Or is he just going to be this dude who at times looks ready and at other times looks like he just doesn't know that he's a football player?
Yeah, I mean, I just think he was in over his head in the Texas game. And I think that, that was really surprising. That's something that we don't see that type of incompetence out of Alabama, generally speaking, and certainly at the quarterback position. And I think that, Alabama hasn't had, hasn't had that reliability so far this year. And I think that's what's tough. Typically, Nick Saban, even as a defensive guy that Nick Saban is, can go out and rely on a field general of a quarterback to go out and make some things happen. And they don't have that right now. And I think that ultimately is why you lost to Texas and why you got your season started on the wrong foot. And I'll be very curious to see what happens as they go through their SEC schedule. And are we going to continue to see 50, 60-point performances? Or is it more of a struggle? Is this one of those years where Alabama's just not really in the picture?
Well, we'll find out. Let's get your thoughts in here on the Monty Show. As always, we are ready for some buckshot. A big, 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 big day. Played golf this morning. Actually shot a 1 over. I got new clubs from PXG. Shot well, the new shafts. No, I'm not going to talk about the problem. But the issue is I'm a high right fader with my driver. I got fitted from PXG. Got super stiff shafts and was bombing the ball today. It was amazing. And, thanks to our good friends at Bucked Up, I had a clear mind when I did it because I took a buckshot for breakfast. I'll have one right now. Yes, sir. 200 milligrams of caffeine. Mental clarity. That's the thing about buckshot. Get to buckedup.com right now. Use the promo code Monty20. Get 20% off your purchase at checkout at buckedup.com. Just search. Use the magnifying glass, and search for buckshot.
Do it.
Totally restocked this week. Every flavor's available. Hook it up right now. Buckedup.com. The best products with the best ingredients, and they do exactly what they tell you they're going to do. They have a great deal running on their whey protein isolate right now. Hook it up, buckedup.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Stephen Smith, first one in for $20. Thank you, Stephen. It's so sad to see a conference fall apart. I'm assuming you're talking about the Pac-12. Over a belief that the alliance would stabilize the Pac-12.
That's not why the Pac-12 fell apart, bro.
I don't know that I can agree with that. But that was false hope to believe in such a thing. It shouldn't have come to this. Well, I mean, candidly, I don't believe that the Pac-12 fell apart because of the alliance that never was an alliance.
Yeah, what alliance are we talking about?
There was a handshake agreement, and that doesn't mean a damn thing. It wasn't worth a thing because there was no contract and nothing was on paper. The Pac-12 fell apart from malfeasance and just really poor management. That's all that was. You're looking at a situation where if you'd have put the Pac-12 network on any major television provider, I don't know, like DirecTV, we're not having this conversation. If Larry Scott, the former commissioner of the Pac-12, who told us he was talking to Google, he told Jake and I, point blank, we're talking to Google. If he had actually talked to Google and gotten a deal done, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Don't lie to me.
It wasn't the troubled alliance that never was an alliance. It was the guy trying to make an agreement without anything in writing in George Kliavkoff, so there never was. George Kliavkoff is a failed commissioner. Again, and again. Not only did he watch USC and UCLA walk out the door, he never delivered a TV contract. And frankly speaking, his only job was to deliver a TV contract, and he didn't even do that. The Pac-12 didn't fail, and I don't believe their failure had anything to do with the alliance. I think they failed because they couldn't put themselves on TV regularly. That really, to me, is the bottom line.
Yes.
And if they had figured that out with DirecTV or Google, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, but they didn't. And so now we're here. And now Oregon State and Washington State are going through court Battleville. and we're getting things figured out.
Yeah, and I think we like to make a lot of assumptions as sports fans. We like to assume that because we don't like something that we can just throw shit against the wall, and it doesn't. You guys, there is some very simple facts.
Mm-hmm.
It either happened or it didn't. Right? This alliance never happened.
Facts.
There never was an alliance. So while I agree it was an embarrassment, to say it failed, it never got started, so there was nothing to fail. If you were going to seriously work together, the alliance, if you were seriously going to work together, why didn't you put it on paper? Why didn't you sign a contract? Why didn't you memorialize the terms and agreements? Well, because you never agreed on anything, in my opinion.
Facts.
I think you shook some hands and said, hey, this is going to be really cool to have a press conference where we talk about how we're going to be an alliance. And then it fell apart before it ever got started.
I mean, it's a marketing ploy, is it not? I mean, oh wait, we're gonna create an alliance with the Big Ten and the ACC, and we're gonna feel like, hey, this is really gonna help us for travel stuff and all these other things. And you just didn't have anything. And I think it epitomized the bad business practices of the Pac-12.
Yeah, and I like we in the comment section before the show, Big Bad Brass Balls was running out a bunch of complete nonsense about how Disney got pounded by Charter. And this is one of those things again. I look at this Pac-12 conversation, I cannot tell you how many people are like, oh yeah, they didn't get into the college football playoffs, so the conference failed. No, that's not why the conference failed.
No.
Had nothing to do with that. You know, like you have this situation with Charter and Disney, and because somebody doesn't like ESPN, and we talked about this the other day on the show. Yeah. Because people don't like ESPN, they're like, oh yeah, ESPN is the reason that people are losing. Like they were talking about how people are losing their cable because of ESPN. It's like ESPN's not the reason people don't have cable on Charter and Spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum, the whole reason that the Spectrum-Disney dispute happened, Spectrum wanted to be able to sell rights and advertising to all of the Disney streaming properties and not pay Disney any money for that. And Disney said, no, we're not doing that. Sorry, not going to happen.
Who could blame them? Why would you?
So they pulled their carriage off of Spectrum and Charter. And then what do you know? ESPN, Disney Plus, like all of the streaming from the Disney family, all of a sudden, a deal got done. It's on an elevated tier. Disney keeps all the rights to put all the advertising on their own streaming platform. Oh. They gained 400 to 500 million new subscribers. Oh, revenue from those new subscribers annually. Do you guys understand how much money that is for Disney? Never mind. Anyway, I understand why people don't like ESPN on some limited level. I get it. But that doesn't mean that ESPN's the problem. The alliance had nothing to do with the Pac-12 failing. Nothing. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, I look at this story today with Mac Brown and the NCAA, and the NCAA saying that, they got death threats. They didn't get death threats because of Mac Brown. The NCAA got death threats because the NCAA doesn't care about student athletes. They care about making money. And the NCAA, if you didn't hear this story, the NCAA today said that they believe that the rhetoric from Mac Brown last week created an atmosphere where death threats and threats of violence came from that.
Right.
And they are saying that they got these death threats because of a kid named Tez Walker at North Carolina who was denied eligibility. And granted, he did not play the transfer portal game properly. And North Carolina and Tez essentially went through a process with the NCAA, and the NCAA ruled against him. And Mac Brown came out and absolutely crushed the NCAA. And the thing that I say is, okay. So was Mac Brown wrong in what he said? Was Mac Brown the reason that people put death threats against, supposedly, because I'm not also 100% on board with this idea that Mac Brown's statement, came out and caused death threats and threats of violence. Sorry, man.
I think it's a reach. I think that's strong to say that.
I am not buying this.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And I'm trying to find Mac Brown's words explicitly, but I don't care if you are upset about Mac Brown. Mac Brown was right when he said, shame on you. Mac Brown was correct when he said that you don't care about the welfare of the kids that you are charged with protecting. That's absolutely correct. Mac Brown, I think, spoke truth to the NCAA, and it pissed off the NCAA. And I'm not saying that they made this up, because would it really be such a stretch? Would it really be such a stretch for somebody to threaten the life of somebody at the NCAA? No, it would not.
No.
But I don't buy for a second that Mac Brown saying they've messed up so many things as it relates to college football, and now their failures have negatively impacted the life of one of our own. I can't begin to understand how this happened. The decision makers at the NCAA on the committee should be ashamed of themselves for doing this to a young man. I completely agree with Mac on that. I think it's hysterical that you're saying that these kind of statements are where death threats came from. I don't believe that for a second. But again, what do? We play these games where it's, Shedeur Sanders isn't a Heisman Trophy candidate. Why? Yeah, I don't know. He just isn't.
Come on.
Have you guys looked at the Heisman watch list? Shedeur Sanders is not it. It's amazing. When you go and look at the people who will decide the Heisman Trophy, most of them do not have Shedeur Sanders in their top 3. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
How's it even possible? The best story in college football. He's dominant. 510 yards. Not on the list.
Yeah.
2-0. Not on the list. And why is that? Because they'll find a reason to punish Deion Sanders for something. That's my belief. Or whether it's Charter versus ESPN or Mac Brown causing death threats. I don't believe that people want the truth. I think we as sports fans in particular, we like the sports wash stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, we want to lean on what we already believe, which is like, hey, it's like what we talked about yesterday, right? Oh, well, it's some, quote unquote legend in sports, so he could never do heinous things in his football program. It's ESPN, so there's no way they would ever be a good company. Oh, well, it's Mac Brown, and for whatever reason you hate Mac Brown, so now all of a sudden he's causing people to allegedly send death threats. Like, that's what we do in sports,
I think the NCAA sports washed this without a doubt, just flipped it around. They said Mac Brown spoke out against us. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, we got death threats because of that statement.
Well, then, the other infamous thing with this whole situation with Tez Walker and UNC is that the NCAA is saying that, you can't have it both ways, right? Can't play both sides of the fence, meaning, hey, you Mac Browns of the world voted to have the rules with the portal the way they are, meaning, hey, if you want to transfer more than once, you got to get a waiver. And now you're upset we're denying waivers. And I just think it's a classic thing of what you said. Hey, the NCAA wants to have control and they want to make money. And that's what they do.
Yep. And the Tez Walker situation was a hardship claim. The NCAA doesn't want to tell you that either. Like, it's frustrating to me. Cleveland rocks for $5. How about the NCAA officials having credible death threats against them for not allowing Tez Walker to play? Sad. I don't believe that they necessarily do. I would like to see that in writing.
Yeah, I mean, where's the proof?
to have you prove it.
Yeah.
That to me. But
because that's a strong thing to say. I feel like the whole death threats thing, like, people aren't taking that seriously. Like you're quite literally saying that Mac Brown is partially responsible for creating this environment of, we'll just call it negativity. And that's why people are sending death threats. Dude, Matt, like Mac Brown, Nick Saban, like the legendary coach that isn't scandal-ridden, dude, can say these things and get away with it. And you know why? He's still got a job and everything's good? Because he's right. He's right.
But I also think it goes back to the Mel Tucker situation at Michigan State.
Perfect example.
Michigan State allegedly knew and didn't do anything about it. Right? I go back to the Levy situation with Art Briles at Oklahoma. You thought that was okay. It's not okay. Would anybody blame Oklahoma if they fired Jeff Levy? I wouldn't. But we can't say that. Oh, you're making too much out of it. No, we're not making too much out of it. Salty Drunk, hello, my friend. There seems to be so much off-field politics in college football.
Oh, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Absolutely there is.
Yep.
J-Rod says the NCAA death threats are the result of the toxic culture we currently live in. If they are in fact true, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. Raider Mark, again, those G5 schools have the ability to add $260 million in facilities and have held their own consistently against power programs. Okay.
What does that have to do with?
I don't know. Jaron Eccles, no respect for little old Colorado, even though they have earned it the first 2 weeks. No respect. No respect. The Deion Sanders conundrum, and here we are, we've evolved from power rankings and is the Big 12 better than the Pac-12 conversation to this Deion Sanders conversation.
Yeah.
Like, if you just go look at the Heisman Trophy watch list, and I was looking at one this morning, and Shedeur Sanders was 17th. 17th.
Unbelievers.
On this list. And
Wow.
it's amazing to me. Here is like at NFL.com, Eric Edholm, his Heisman Trophy watch list. And you look at this, and the thing that I don't understand is that we just won't, and of course now I can't get that to load because why would it want to cooperate? We just won't give Shedeur Sanders the respect he deserves.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of people want to say, oh, well, you know, I mean, it's Colorado. They're just getting started. Like, it's 2 games into the year, right? Oh, it's only Nebraska. They're Nebraska. Who cares about Matt Rule and what he's trying to do? Who cares about any of that? You know, have them beat someone legitimate. And so my question's going to be, what happens when Colorado inevitably loses to like SC or Washington or like one of the best teams in the Pac-12, let's say, but Shedeur balls out for like 400 yards against their defense and it's like some ridiculous shootout, you know, best we've ever seen college football game on the West Coast. Then people are going to go, oh, he lost the game. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about the fact that dude threw for 450 in like 4 touchdowns and they ran for whatever. Like, that's what we're talking about here.
BetMGM.
Yeah, good example.
Heisman Trophy watch list. Number 1, Caleb Williams.
Justified, spot on.
Number 2, Jordan Travis at Florida State. Number 3, Michael Penix, Washington. Number 4, Quinn Ewers at Texas. Number 5, J.J. McCarthy at Michigan.
It's a refence.
Number 6, Bo Nix. Are you serious? You're Drew Aller at Penn State. Sam Hartman at Notre Dame is 8th. And finally, Shedeur Sanders, 9th. Behind Hartman, Aller, Nix, McCarthy, Ewers, Penix, Travis, and Williams. That's wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have him right behind Quinn Ewers there. That's where I'd have
I
him.
would have Shedeur Sanders. I would have Shedeur Sanders well ahead of Jordan Travis. I think Shedeur Sanders has far outplayed Jordan Travis. I think Michael Penix Jr. should be 2. I think Quinn Ewers should be 3. And I think Shedeur Sanders should be 4.
Yeah.
That J.J. McCarthy is 5th is ridiculous to me.
My fucking ass.
J.J. McCarthy.
Come on.
But it is, I'm a firm believer that you are talking about bias against Deion Sanders. And that is why Shedeur Sanders and Hunter to a lesser extent, because I think it's going to be really difficult for a two-way player. Travis Hunter is well down the list. there. He is Joe Milton's 9th. Kyle McCord at Ohio State is 10th. Marvin Harrison, the wide receiver at Ohio State, who's hurt and is going to miss 2 weeks, is 11th. Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma, decent. But is Travis Hunter behind Dylan Gabriel? Is he behind Marvin Harrison? Is he behind Kyle McCord and Joe Milton? Are you out your goddamn mind?
Come on.
Come on now. Tell me that there's not bias involved in that. You're really telling me that there's not bias involved in that.
I mean, look at, just really quick. I mean, you look at Colorado's schedule, and we're going to put this thing to bed one way or the other real quick here, right? You get Colorado State this week. All right, cool. They should, you should dominate them. But then what do you get? Oregon, SC, Arizona State, Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington, Utah, right? So you're going to get Oregon, then you're going to get USC, right? So that's why I say you're at Oregon, you're home for SC. If SC comes in and hangs 50 on you at your place, you're not that guy, pal. That's not going to be acceptable. Now, if USC comes in and puts 35 up and you happen to put up 31, I think that's a really respectable performance, right? Because this is supposed to be a team that isn't going to perform. And Dion, it's his first year, and there's no way that he could ever use the transfer portal to go out and win more than 6 games. No way. So, again, when they win against Colorado State this week and they're 3-0, heading into Oregon, what else would you have had them do?
How is J.J. McCarthy on that list?
It's ridiculous, dude.
Screw you.
He's on that list because he plays at Michigan. That's it.
My God. J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah.
Stop. Adams P.
Right.
Sanders will be a top 3 pick. I would agree with that. Tarrant County boy. Yeah. Okay. NE says, I get all of them except JJ is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith, I agree with you on the alliance. I also believe that it showed the Pac-12 incompetence on how to run a conference. I also believe I have COVID. Okay, well, I apologize for your ill feelings. That
It is what it is.
I never want anybody to have COVID.
Coronavirus.
Everybody gets a test.
Knock on wood, I've never had it. And
They have the sniffles.
And I hope not to have it. But the alliance, Stephen, I appreciate you. The alliance had nothing to do with the failure of the Pac-12. It was, and do you guys know what the alliance is? It was the Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big Ten. And they got together and they said, hey, we're going to schedule, but we're also going to operate on a philosophical level where they were going to put the mental health and well-being of their student. Like, they had all these philosophical tenets that were only memorialized as far as a press release. There was no scheduling agreement on paper like it had. And again, I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong, your opinion's valid. It had nothing to do with the failure of the conference. Did it make the Pac-12 look dumb? Yes, it did. It made them look really foolish. Did that mean they failed? No. They failed for one singular reason: incompetence in everything that they do, whether that's officiating, the way they handled officiating, the way they handled replays, certainly their TV and media rights distribution. The Pac-12 network was a money suck. Larry Scott spent money like it was endless. I mean, there are a whole bunch of things. Again, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and I appreciate the $10. And I really hope you don't have COVID. Mike Smith, ever notice that the Heisman Trophy winner rarely comes from a school with 3 or more losses? Colorado continues to win and Sanders continues to play well. He will rise in the rankings. I don't disagree with that. Jaron Eccles, Sanders is far better than Nix and McCarthy. I think Bo Nix is an enigma. How good is Bo Nix?
It's not college football playoff good. He's...
Where in the conference is Bo Nix?
He's probably top 5, I would say. I mean, you're
in a conference loaded with quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix.
Certainly if you look at those guys, obviously, I think you would Shedeur Sanders or Bo Nix.
Shedeur Sanders.
Cam Rising or Bo Nix?
Right now, Bo Nix. Cam Rising's not on the football field, and I want to see what Cam Rising is before we just start saying he's the same old Cam Rising.
DJ Uiagalelei or Bo Nix?
Bo Nix. Even though DJ's played well.
Cam Ward or Bo Nix?
Cam Ward.
I would agree with that. And I mean, I think that's the I think ultimately that's the end of it. I mean, because you're not going to put Rashada or Delora or Bo Nix is a top half of the quarterbacks in this conference. Yeah. He is not Shedeur. He is not Penix. He is not. I think Caleb Williams is the best of the bunch.
I think the difference between Shedeur, Penix, and Williams is their athleticism. I mean, they have the ability to just run away and shake you off of them. I mean, again, and not to say that Caleb Williams hasn't done this, but the highlight tape of Shedeur Sanders against Nebraska, just running away from the pressure of Nebraska and extending the play for what seemed like forever, and then to find a guy in the end zone and do what he was doing. I mean, he played out of his mind, and that's what I think separates those three. A guy like Cam Rising beats you with his mind. Right? I mean, yes, he's athletic, but he's never going to be as highlight reel caliber as those three.
Bo Nix or Drake May at Carolina?
Yeah, I think that's pretty even.
Dude, I think that's really close.
Yeah.
Bo Nix I take Bo Nix over Jordan Travis. Sam Hartman or Bo Nix. Sam Hartman has been pretty freaking impressive.
The thing I like about Sam Hartman is the maturity piece. I trust him to put the ball in a good place pretty much every time. And I'm not saying that Bo Nix is not mature, but there's Sam Hartman just shows it in a different way. You say, okay, here's Sam, here's the football. Don't turn it over and take us down the field. And that's what he seems to do. And sometimes I feel like Bo Nix tries to do too much with his legs, and sometimes that comes back to get him.
Jalen Daniels at Kansas or Bo Nix? Ooh. Two really good dual threat quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's hard not to go with Daniels there.
Ooh. I think Drake May, right now in college football, I do think it is Caleb Williams 1, Michael Penix 2. Because the Georgias of the world, the Alabamas of the world.
But like Quinn Ewers or Bo Nix. I mean, I think that's performance.
After that performance, I'm taking Quinn Ewers.
Right? But like those two guys, if you go, okay, skill set, athleticism, how they play the game, like they're very similar. Bo runs a little more than Quinn, but they're pretty similar.
I think the Blue Bloods don't have great quarterback play this year, and it's gonna rise. It's gonna rise for guys that I think normally a guy like maybe J.J. McCarthy, maybe Jaden Daniels at LSU is that guy. Yep. That is going to stand out more because Georgia and Bama don't have great quarterback play.
Yeah, it could be.
Raider Mark, who are your number 1 and number 2 QBs? I think they're both in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Again, Caleb Williams and Michael Penix Jr. Find me two better. I have a lot of trouble with that. Cleveland Rocks, first time in 25 years, Browns favored in Pittsburgh. Wild. The washcloth man. Do we buy it? Let's talk about it on Football at 50, 10 to the hour, every hour on the Monty Show. Football at 50 is presented by TridayTrading.com. TridayTrading.com/Monty. Listen, stop complaining about going back to the office. Stop complaining about how much you hate your boss. Stop being frustrated or disappointed with yourself because you're not making the money you believe you should be making. Get to TridayTrading.com. Sign up for their 30-day, $10 trial membership. $10. That's it. It's a charitable donation. That's a tax write-off for you. You get their entire program in that 30 days. High-level coaching, all kinds of software, all kinds of process, like everything that makes Tri-Day Trading so special and has made them special for decades. You get that in this 30-day trial, and then you're just going to make a decision. Do you want to keep going? And I don't believe we've had anybody fall off after the 30-day trial. Okay, great. But if you don't want to keep going, it costs you $10 to go back to your job. It costs you $10 to go back to the life you were living. Hook it up, TridayTrading.com. Obviously, when we talk about quarterbacks, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers coming up in 7 minutes. But this Jim Trotter lawsuit is a big, big deal. Did you guys hear about this? Jim Trotter is suing the NFL and NFL media, saying, quote, the NFL has claimed it wants to be held accountable regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion. I tried to do so and it cost me my job. I hope this lawsuit leads to real change across the league and in the NFL media newsroom. And what is he accusing the NFL of? Here's his lawsuit right here. Terry Pagula, look at item number 5. Terry Pegula, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, stated in reference to player protests against racial injustice, quote, "If the black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is."
Dude.
Wow. And then if you look at item number 6, hey, that says Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, said, quote, "If blacks feel some kind of way, they should buy their own team and hire who they want to hire." Do you believe this? Do you buy into this? Where do you come down on this?
I mean, first we need to say you got to have serious cojones to be putting this type of stuff in writing, number one. Number two, if you're going to put it in writing, you damn well better have evidence. And I have to assume a man of Jim Trotter's experience and ability as a journalist has things in writing or on recording or something. He has some kind of way to legitimize this type of accusation because, those are very specific quotes, right? Like, that's very specific. So I have to believe that he has evidence, and so based on that, yeah, I mean, you don't sue the NFL without evidence. The NFL is not one of those people that you mess with without having backup.
No.
So I have to believe he does.
Does there anything change in the NFL because of this? I got to tell you, I don't think it will. I am one of the people who believes I think there is a racial inequality issue in ownership, management, you name it. Anything that doesn't require a player, there's racial inequity in the NFL. Anybody that rules over players is probably going to be white.
Yeah.
Anybody that owns a team is probably going to be white and a billionaire because that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I just, again, and I know we've had this conversation on the show, this always comes up at least once a year where there is hard evidence. Recently, it's been Daniel Snyder, the former owner of the Washington Commanders, who got run out of the NFL. Yep. And I think it's one of those deals that's very, very good for the NFL. But now what do we have? Jim Trotter suing the NFL and NFL media. And he is making these quotes are my man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's not, accusing, Pegula and Jones of like little things, of like just kind of light.
No, he's
things.
not.
I mean, these are major accusations. I mean, we all freaked out when like the John Gruden email thing happened, right? I mean, if he's got these guys on recording, let's say as an example, dude, you are in that's like, hey, you got to sell the team.
These are direct quotes. So he's got it in writing or in record. We'll see how it plays out. If these are actual, truly recorded quotes, man, the NFL is going to lose. And when I say lose, it's going to wind up cutting him a check.
Yes.
That's really what this will come down to. We'll see how this plays out. But this is no longer just that gnat buzzing around your ear.
Yeah.
Now this is a real problem for the NFL because this is a league, let's not forget, that really prides itself on the way that the public views the league as a business entity. It's a $1 billion league. And I would also remind you, this comes out on the same day where Monday Night Football was the most watched ESPN Monday Night Football game ever last night. 22.6 million viewers.
Now, I know ESPN's struggling, right? And my God, they're just sweating that Spectrum money. But I'd like to just point out that this is an all-time performance right here. This is, hey, we're
wild.
ESPN. We have the best stuff. Everybody watches. And our ad partners are really happy about that.
That's a hell of a lot of people watching Monday Night Football.
Look at that.
Watching Monday Night Football. Up 14% over a year. Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli draws 1.5 million viewers on the Peyton cast.
Dude.
This is a big, big win for the NFL. And you're talking about, remember that this game was on ABC as well. ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, NFL Plus. 22.64 million viewers. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
That is a big, big deal. So the NFL seems to be doing well. And I wonder, when does the NFL lose its bulletproof status?
God, not anytime soon.
Because how long have we been, as a fan base, how long have we been talking about racial issues in the NFL? I mean, it goes back long before Colin Kaepernick, but just think back to Colin Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
Think back to all of the fires that started. And if you come forward from there, like, it really hasn't gotten better. And every single year there's an Eric Bieniemy.
Yes.
Who's getting overlooked, or
yes.
Every year it's something or somebody like this. And it's just so hard as somebody that supports the NFL. I already struggle with the head injuries and the brain damage and just the catastrophe that physically the NFL is on its participants. And then stuff like this comes out, and it's maddening to me.
Yeah.
It really is maddening to me that we see. It's maddening that we see this. Very interesting point by Mike Smith. I can't watch dumbface Eli. Okay, well, I might have worded that a little different, Mike.
Dumbface Eli. Now, I have to give the Mannings credit. Dude, you got over 1 million people to watch just your broadcast.
1.5 million.
That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
The funny thing is, the actual football game was not that interesting until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Once A-Rod got hurt, I thought that was, that obviously that was the huge story.
Mm-hmm.
Football 50-10 of the hour, every hour, presented by TryDayTrading.com. TryDayTrading.com. Change your life, man. Stop making excuses and start keeping those promises that you've made to yourself. Build your confidence. Build your wealth. Provide for your family the way you've always dreamed of. You're just a click away at TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Make sure you sign up for the $10 30-day trial membership. No obligation beyond those 30 days, but trust me, it's life-changing. You guys are going to love it. So many of our listeners have gone through the program, and they just thrive on it. Don't wait anymore. Go do it right now. TryDayTrading.com. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show is presented by our good friends at Bucked Up Energy. BuckedUp.com. Whew. Went and played golf this morning. What was my breakfast today? Yeah, my breakfast today was a Bucked Up protein shake. Hey, I got my collagen peptides in my protein shake this morning. Excellent as always. And again, I told you in hour number 1, had a buckshot right before we started playing. I actually played really well. Had a lot of energy, felt great. Today was probably as much energy as I have had on the golf course in some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because I found when I play golf in the morning, if I eat lighter, if I have a protein shake from Bucked Up, and again, I put in, I can put in like collagen peptides. Generally what I put in there is I'll put in some whey protein isolate from Bucked Up. I'll put in collagen peptides from Bucked Up. And I'll put in my creatine into that shake. I'll put ice. I'll put almond milk or water. Today it was water. Shake it up, drink it. It takes me 2 minutes to drink it, to drink a 30-ounce shake, because it's really good. And then I'm just full. I have a lot of energy. I'm not hungry when I'm playing. Feeling great because of Bucked Up Energy. Get there. Use the promo code Monty20 to save 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. Kevin Chittenden, Giants O-line might be worse. Dude,
that's bad, bro.
The O-line of the New York Jets is a problem. Conference Commissioner Gumby, there you go. Let's see. Bucked Up better than Viagra. Well, I mean, golf is sex, right?
I mean, it was a lot of fun today. I mean, to go out and we'll have a whole video coming out on the channel this week about, my guys fitting here and
I got fit last Wednesday, and I already have my clubs, and I've played around to golf in my clubs.
Wild.
Jim Choi says buckshot. Yeah, absolutely buckshot.
Buckshot is so good.
It is, and it's game changing. I'm telling you right now, you guys, buckedup.com, just get the magnifying glass. The search thing, stupid.
Yeah, the button.
And search for buckshot. Watermelon and blue raz are my 2 favorite flavors. Hook it up. Jeff Woodworth says protein shakes and stiff shafts go together. Hey now.
Right.
Hey now.
Stiff shafts.
It's fine. Let's see. When Peyton walks into a room, nerd alert. Do you guys like or not like Peyton Manning? Peyton and Eli, where are you at on that? Mike Smith says, Mrs. Monty away and Monty gets fit, living dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when my wife travels. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Where are you guys at on this? Obviously, dudes, this is a big deal. Aaron Rodgers, confirmed today by Jets coach Robert Saleh, has a torn Achilles tendon after 4 snaps. And it's 100% because they don't have an offensive line. Dwayne Brown got beat like a drum, which was remarkable. I look at the way that Becton played. I thought he got beaten very badly. You see Aaron Rodgers limp into that blue tent, and you're hoping it's an ankle sprain or a high ankle sprain. All right, a month. And then you see him get out of that tent and get on a cart, and you know instantly it's an Achilles. And it's just brutal. Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old. The chances that Aaron Rodgers is coming back from an Achilles tear, depending on, the seriousness of it, is it totally torn? Is it a partial tear? Where on the Achilles is it torn? All of those things are factors, right? He's 39 years old. And it is very difficult to outrun Father Time, who is, last time I checked, undefeated. Father Time is. It's very difficult to believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to come back. Certainly not this year. He's done for the year. When training camp starts a year from now, is Aaron Rodgers the same quarterback that he was? I don't see any way that he is. I think he's done with the Jets, and I think there's a chance he's done in the NFL, Jake. And it's just a terrible ending to the Aaron Rodgers story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, terrible ending or not, I mean, I think that these things happen. And last night in our members-only group chat on Instagram, I said, Aaron Rodgers went to a new team, tore his Achilles. Tom Brady went to a new team, won a Super Bowl. And I think that that's the difference between the great ones and the really good ones. Aaron Rodgers is a really good one who's going to be in the Hall of Fame leaves most of his legacy in Green Bay. I think he's done wonderful work with Zach Wilson. I think that kind of showed its place last night. I mean, obviously, Zach, didn't exactly ball out. It's not like he lit up the Bills' defense. It's not like he did anything crazy special. But what he did do was help them win the game. He wasn't so bad that they lost the game because of him, right? So to me, yeah, did it take Xavier Gipson with something special on that punt return? Yes, it did.
Seriously.
Yes, it did. And that was outstanding for Xavier. But at the same time, I just think that, the Jets are, I don't know. The Jets have to either get better at drafting quarterbacks and developing quarterbacks, or they need to go out and find the next free agent quarterback that they want to sign that they think can take them to the Super Bowl. Because now the question isn't whether you're going to the Super Bowl. The question is whether you're a playoff team or not with Zach Wilson as your quarterback.
Agree.
And yes, that defense is all league and incredible, but defense alone doesn't take you to the playoffs. You got to have an offense that can go down with 90 seconds left and win you the game. And you don't have that right now, and I think that's what's tough.
Well, I also think that this question right here from John Teal for $2, Tom Brady to the Jets maybe, I don't see any way that happens. Mm-hmm. I think Tom Brady has worked very, very hard to announce that he is retired every time this happens. Every time there's a team that needs a quarterback, he has to announce he's retired. I just don't see him coming back, and not for the Jets. I think that right now the bigger question in my mind is Zach Wilson. And is Zach Wilson good enough at this point to lead the Jets? And you know what I would tell you? I think the biggest question here is Zach Wilson confident enough? He looks like a guy who plays with the fear of Vince Lombardi in him. Mm-hmm. And he just doesn't make good decisions. He does not make quick decisions. He is not authoritative on the field. I don't believe he commands a huddle. It's going to be very difficult to go through your entire training camp and your first 4 snaps with the authoritarian Aaron Rodgers on the field and then step into Zach Wilson, who just doesn't know where to put the football. And I think one of the hardest things for the Jets is this is the guy you picked second overall. And you are confirming what you already know about him. Because let's not spin this on Zach Wilson. I hope the guy succeeds. I am a big believer that when you work your ass off to be the second pick in the NFL draft, it is a lot harder to fail than it is to work your ass off to become the number 2 pick in the draft. It's harder on you. It ruins you. You are not the same guy ever when you fail as the starting quarterback after you're the number 2 pick. I hope the guy succeeds. I just don't see any way it happens. I also believe that when quarterbacks get a chance, they either boom or bust right out of the gate. Trust me, I'm a traumatized Mitch Trubisky supporter. I know young quarterbacks with high expectations that fail. Oh, I'm also a guy that wishes Justin Fields would succeed, and he never will. Is Zach Wilson any better than Mitch Trubisky or Justin Fields? I think I could make a pretty strong argument he's not. He doesn't know where to go with the football. Can that guy lead the Jets to a Super Bowl? I don't know. Can Aaron Rodgers tutor him up and teach him up and learn him some leadership? I hope so, because if he can't, Jake, I think the Jets are doomed to fail.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's tough. Like you're not in an easy division. And by the way,
no. If
I'm Tua in Miami, I'm feeling real nice right now. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, hey man, like we got a real shot here. And I think that, I look at quarterbacks around the league that have had a lot of adversity, and there's several examples. I think that Jordan Love has had a nice start to the season. I think there's not a better example than Tua. Tua learned how to fall and now is balling out, and they look really good. Now, does he survive the season? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Does he consistently step out of bounds? Yes, but then he'll survive the season. If he doesn't do that, then he won't. Anthony Richardson, a guy that needs to learn to step out of bounds, a guy that needs to learn to throw the ball away.
A guy who's already hurt.
A guy who's already hurt because he runs too much, right?
Dealing with a bruised bone in his knee.
Yeah. So, you're seeing the NFL do what the NFL does, which is lay the wood to guys until they learn their lesson. And unfortunately for the Jets, Aaron Rodgers did nothing wrong. Father Time picked it up. And that's why I say yesterday on the show, everyone espousing about the greatness of the Jets. Dude, it's okay to say yesterday, hey, they got to prove many things. Even with Aaron Rodgers, you got to show me that offense is legit, right? Even with Aaron Rodgers, you got to show me Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. Even with Aaron Rodgers, you got to show me that you are that team. By the way, let's talk about Josh Allen. What the hell was that last night? Can I just ask, what are we doing? And to your point, you are right, and take your victory lap. Josh Allen is absolutely embarrassing. Josh Allen, dude, 4 picks last night, and I know their defense is really good. I know the Jets defense is outstanding, but I'm watching that game and I'm saying, hey, you got a guy who has, I mean, it must have been 20 yards of space at, 20 opened by 20 yards, 7 yards from the line of scrimmage. Check it down. They're doubling your best receivers. They don't want you to go over the top. Check the ball down. Then I know what's going to happen. The defense is going to come towards you. You can take your shot. I'm not an NFL coach. Not an NFL quarterback. I'm not Josh Allen. I'm not playing the game. But that seems like very simple X's and O's schematics. So I don't know where, Josh Allen, the playoff winner, went, but he's not here anymore. And that team is not good right now.
I think that Josh Allen has the dreaded hero ball syndrome. I agree with you 100%. And I think that you have to believe at some point that this is a make-or-break season for Josh Allen and the Bills. I think one of the bigger questions I have, frankly, about the Jets is this offensive line going to get Zach Wilson murdered? Is he going to get murked next week? Because I think there is a real chance that when you look at the Jets, does anybody realize where the Jets are going this week? Yeah, they're going to the Dallas Cowboys, who are favored by 8.5 points, and I think have one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL. And I think that the Jets have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, and I don't know how you fix that. I really don't. David C. Says Jets should tank for Caleb Williams. Maybe. I probably would not do that. I don't think you can do that. There was a huge brawl on ESPN today about whether or not the Jets should go out and trade for a quarterback. I don't think you can do that. I think you're not in a situation where you can just have a fill-in for Aaron Rodgers because you gave up too much to get him. You paid him too much. And if you were going to tank for Caleb Williams, why didn't you go sign a Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go and sign a Derek Carr? Why didn't you go sign one of the lesser quarterbacks?
Well,
because you're committed to winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, look at the laundry list of free agent quarterbacks that you could have signed to tank. I mean, again, with all due respect to Carson Wentz, with all due respect to Jacoby Brissett, right? With all due respect to, I know, Colin Kaepernick, right? There's all these guys on the list that could play, that are free agents, that, would be good fill-ins, but that's not what you wanted to do. You wanted to go out and trade pick after pick to get an old-ass Aaron Rodgers who was never going to stay healthy this season because you didn't invest in your offensive line, and we haven't been the only ones saying that. There's been a lot of people who have said that. Now we're here. So, I just think as unfortunate as it is, because I was really looking forward to Aaron Rodgers having a chance to really legitimize himself as an all-time great, right? To get to that second Super Bowl, to kind of get over that hump and really shut up the naysayers. Now we're not going to get to see that. And I agree with you. I think we seriously got to ask, hey, is that the last time we've ever seen Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. But at his age, that injury, that's going to be tough.
Do we believe Aaron Rodgers that he was retired this summer when he was in that hole smoking? I know you don't smoke it.
And by the way,
smoking his ayahuasca?
Dude, can we stop making darkness retreat jokes about the blue tent on the sideline, please? Like, the guy just tore his Achilles. Like, give the guy some slack.
That was funny. But he claims in his hole in the ground that he was retired.
Right.
During his darkness retreat. He came out and said, I was retired. And then he claimed all the shit talking from the Packers brought him back to life. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second. Beavers on a rampage. Mike White greater than Zach Wilson. Mike White doesn't panic. Well, Mike White doesn't play for the Jets anymore. Unfortunately for the Jets. Jeff Woodworth says Drew Rosen is still available.
Drew Rosen.
Wow. How about a big shout out for Kyle A., who's been a member for 5 months.
There you go. Okay. There we go. All right, cool.
There you go. How about Sharon Eccles, who's been a member for 8 months?
There we go.
Let's go, Sharon. Go Cubs. If Tua stays healthy, the Dolphins will be 14-3 in the AFC East and the number 1 seed in the AFC, dude. There was not a better looking quarterback in the NFL than Tua Tagovailoa this past weekend.
Yeah.
Not a better one. Not one single. The confidence he is playing with, oh my God. He is going to murder fellas because he's really good right now.
Yep.
He is really, really good right now. And Jaron, you may be saying that in jest, but I wouldn't be saying that in jest. I actually think that Tua Tagovailoa, I want his brain to survive. I do. But every time he takes the field, I can't watch anymore. It is terrifying to watch him play football.
Well, I think that, I mean, it is. But at the same time, I feel a little better about Tua now that he's not doing the whole fall backward, slam my head on the ground thing. I mean, I think that, this is a guy that understands that he can't be taking huge shots, that he can't just run around and, hope for the best. Like, he understands, okay, I need to learn my offense and know it to the point where I can throw guys open. Know it to the point like Dan Orlovsky does his, famous tape breakdown on ESPN, And he's showing this clip where Tua's got a guy up the right sideline who's running a Tyreek Hill, running a post to the middle of the hill, to the middle of the field, right to left. And Tyreek's surrounded by 3 guys. And Tua's throwing it to an open spot for Tyreek to run to. Like, dude, the offense. You know where your guy's going to be.
No.
You're throwing him open.
No, you know the defense and what they're trying to do to you. And you know your offense and how it works when the defense is doing what it's doing to you. That's the thing that is next level about Tua. He actually, exactly what you're saying, he's dominating because he's well prepared. And I don't know, man. Jaron, I hope he does, because I would love to see Tua Tagovailoa win an NFL MVP, to see him lead a team to a Super Bowl after all the adversity he's had on the injury front, from the hip, all the injuries at Alabama, the high ankle sprain. He almost snapped his leg in half at Alabama. Then he broke his hip. Now all the concussions. Like, come on, my guy. Let's stay healthy for 20, 25 games and watch you win a Super Bowl.
And make some money.
Because they're great. And real quick on the money front, that's the whole thing about the Aaron Rodgers injury. Do you guys realize how much money the Jets won't make this year because Aaron Rodgers is hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's tough. Boss Frog, that Porsche stud. Boss Frog today, we just get off the golf course. And Jake's like, oh boy, Boss Frog sent us a DM.
Yeah.
And it's a video of Boss Frog at his Porsche dealership. And I am a huge fan of Porsche as a brand. And what was a 918?
918 Spider.
Which is an electrical assisted V8.
Mm-hmm.
It's fast. It's faster than Shedeur Sanders.
Right.
Which is tough to believe.
Right.
Or Tyreek. Well, it's not faster than Tyreek Hill.
It's the Cheetah, dude. Come on.
The Cheetah. That's one of the nicest cars. And I was in a public place, and you may have...
I'm so bricked up right now.
I had to cover. The Bears. The Bears are the best franchise in league history. Karma is a real bitch, Monty. What do we do with the Bears? Honest to goodness.
You continue to accept that they are never going to win anything until they get sold and until a new voice comes in the room and says, hey, maybe we'd like to have an offensive-minded head coach at some point.
You have a new president. You have a new general manager.
Yeah, well, they're all not correct.
A new head coach. And it's just a flipping disaster. You can't get a stadium deal done even though you said you had 3 done. I just don't know what to do with this team. It's so... And we half joked about it on the show yesterday. But I'm a long-suffering Chicago sports fan. I have the Cubs in recent times, but we were playing golf with a friend of ours, and we were talking about the Blackhawks. And I was like, Rocky Wirtz died. We got Connor Bedard, but how long until we see Connor Bedard? Hopefully this year right away, and he's a star. But I need the Blackhawks to be good. I need the Bulls to be good. I need the Cubs to be good. The Cubs better beat the Rockies tonight because they're my prize picks, which we're going to deliver in 9 minutes.
Facts.
But the Chicago Bears are never good.
Yeah.
Again, this is a team that in my lifetime, and I'm 50 years old, we've never been close to having the best quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Orton was not the best quarterback in the NFL. Rexy Grossman, not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Captain Khakis, not the best quarterback in the NFL. Steve Fuller, Jim McMahon, my guy, I love you to death, not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
The list is endless of guys.
Yeah.
Eric Kramer, not the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. B says, Jake, did you just say give the guy some slack? His Achilles ran out of slack last night.
No,
Shake my head.
No.
Really, Jake? You're making
trying,
slack on a guy's
trying
Achilles
to make
tendon?
that joke, dude.
You think that's funny?
I'm just, we have to say it. Aaron Rodgers has been a red ass his whole career.
It's
and now
karma.
It's funny how it's worked out, isn't it?
It is absolutely karma. There is no question about it. There's no way to spin this. There is no way to josh around. It's karma, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You got murked last night because you're a dick.
Yeah.
What you did, and the best part is what you did. The other best part of this is, and the thing that I love about it, what you did is you made Jordan Love a superstar.
Yeah, and I think what really bothers me about the Aaron Rodgers situation is it's like Aaron Rodgers wanted to talk all this junk, and he wanted to be, this guy that was threatening retirement every year, and wanted to do the darkness retreats, and wanted to go on Rogan's podcast and talk about ayahuasca and do all this stuff. And that's
Aaron
fine.
Rodgers Tuesday.
Yeah, cool, dude, you're a superstar, but. You know what? The reason I'm a Brady guy and not a Rodgers guy, and let's set all the Super Bowls aside, right? Even though I think that's what defines Tom Brady. Set all those aside. Tom Brady was never an asshole about it. Tom Brady was never a guy who was like, I gotta go sit in a hole and threaten retirement. Yes, was there questions about
sit in a hole and threaten retirement?
Was there questions? Did people say to Tom, hey, we know you're coming down to the end of it. Do you think this is the last time we're going to see you? The media was asking Tom about that, right? It wasn't Tom threatening.
No.
And that's what I don't like about Aaron Rodgers. And that's why last night when I was watching this game, I said, wow, that really sucks for Jets fan. I feel for Jets fan. I do not feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers, and I do not want to hear...
You don't have any sympathy for Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely none. You know why I don't have sympathy for Aaron Rodgers? Because his ass was more more interested in ayahuasca and darkness retreats rather than putting his ass in the gym and training like he should.
Wait.
Like he
He's
should.
never been questioned for being in shape or out of shape.
Yeah, but you know what he's been questioned for? He doesn't want to go to OTAs. He doesn't want to mentor quarterbacks over the course of his career. He doesn't want to go the extra mile. But yet when it comes to Tom Brady, we all want to mock this guy for being a vegan and for taking care of himself and for doing
banging hot models.
Right? Banging hot models. Like we want to make fun of Tom.
Mouth kissing his kids on his Facebook show.
Right? That's what we get to talk about with Tom. So
Tommy.
So I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers isn't professional, but what I'm saying is that when you're 39 years old, yeah, you probably should be a vegan.
But let's be honest. Jake, what's the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady? What
Aaron
did you say
Rodgers
today?
doesn't win.
That's exactly right. Jake in our pre-show meeting was like, F that guy. He doesn't win. Tom Brady's got rings, bro.
I'm just tired of it, dude. I'm tired of it. And I am excited to see the NFL for 1 year. 1 year. Let's see some new names. Let's see what Patty Mahomes can do without Travis Kelce for a cup of coffee, which is lose games. Let's see. Hey, is Jared Goff that guy, or did they only win that game because Travis Kelce was out?
What is that wild stat that you showed me?
Jared Goff, I can't remember the exact number. It's like Jared Goff is on the third longest streak in NFL history for most pass attempts without an interception. I think it was 368 or something like that, somewhere in the 300 attempt range. The media asked him about it. Hey, what do you think of this run you're on, this record you're on? And he said, or the streak, that was the term. Hey, what do you think about your streak of attempts versus no interceptions? And Jared Goff said, what streak? I don't know about any streak. We're just focused on next week. And that's what I'm saying, dude. I get burned out on, man, like Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I'm immunized.
You get burned out on prima donna guy who never has any repercussions.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue is Aaron Rodgers doesn't win. And I've said this 100 times as a bitter-ass broken Bears fan. Aaron Rodgers is the most overrated quarterback in the history of the NFL. Bar none. Aaron Rodgers is supposedly this great thrower of the football, and he is. But we talk about Aaron Rodgers in NFL circles like the guy's got a pile of rings, and frankly, he does not. Aaron Rodgers has more disappointment than he has rings. It's that simple. He doesn't win playoff games at home. And until he wins playoff games at home, what does it flipping matter? It doesn't. And now he may never play in another playoff game at home.
Yeah.
When what was the expectation? Was supposed to win a Super Bowl. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that at all. Let's see. Cleveland Rocks. Watson or Jackson? Who's better?
Watson or Jackson?
Lamar Jackson's better. If they're both 100%, I think Deshaun Watson will never be that guy again.
Yeah.
Washcloth man will never be that guy again. He won't. Never, ever be that guy again. You can see, you don't sit out almost 2 years and think you're just going to come back and be that dude.
Yeah.
He's not that dude. He is no longer that dude. He sputtered through, like, come on now. Lopes fan Gabe, who's been a member of the show for 8 months.
Let's go, Lopes.
Stud. What cutting-edge innovation did Apple roll out today? USB-C on the iPhone? Dude, I tried to order it, and they're not available until Friday. I'll be one of the first MFers, or excuse me, one of the first sheep in line to order the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Must be nice.
Because it is fast. That's what I'm in for. You're not wrong, Lopes fan Gabe. You are not wrong. Beeves on a rampage for $10. Carson Wentz update. Oh, boy. 151 pass TDs to 66 interceptions. And currently enjoying his $45 million net worth in North Dakota. $45 million in North Dakota lasts forever. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I would never sign Carson Wentz. Again, damaged goods in a very bad way.
Yeah.
Is Carson Wentz an option? Is Carson Wentz an option for the New York Jets?
He's not more of an option than, like, I think Brissett's a great option. I think that, Carson Wentz is a guy who gets hurt constantly. That's why he's in North Dakota and not on the Colts anymore, dude. Right? Like, this is a guy that can't stay healthy. So, I don't even dislike Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz had a chance to, at one point, with the Eagles, had a chance to be a Hall of Famer. He was on that track, and then he couldn't stay healthy, and now his ass is sitting on the couch in North Dakota. That's what happens to guys in the league.
Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan, who do you call if you need a quarterback today?
I'm calling Matt Ryan. And by the way, real quick, can we just point out that his broadcast team did him dirty as hell on his first ever broadcast? Man, bro, you'd have thought that this team was up 28-3 at the half, and yet it's only 10-10. Hey, Matt, what do you think about that? I mean, just incredible.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. There are options out there if they don't want Zach Wilson's. There are options out there if you want better prize picks. PrizePicks.com. Make sure that you download the Prize Picks app on your phone. Use the promo code Monty to get 100% deposit matching. Or just click the link in the description below. Every day at 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, we give you our Prize Picks for the day. I'm in love with my Prize Picks. Now, I tell you every day, hey, you guys know this already. I'm good looking. I'm smarter than you, and your wife loves this show. Now, that's all taken for granted every single day, right? No.
I think I've hit it every time.
Thank you, Coach. I tell you every day on the show that I'm terrible at fantasy. I've been on a hot streak like nobody's business.
I mean, I'm almost like Notre Dame.
I mean, I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't. But I have won serious bread, so here are my Prize Picks today. I'm all in on my the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Bears there for a second.
Go Cubs. Nobody's in on the Bears. The Bears aren't in on the Bears. Look at that top one, though. Here's what I love about Prize Picks, you guys. Mookie Betts, half a total base. He's on sale. They're giving you a win.
All he's got to do is single.
All he's got to do is get a base hit, and you guys you win that one. So I'm going more on Mookie Betts. Javier Assad getting the start for the Cubs against the Colorado Rockies.
Now, this goes one of two ways, sir.
Stop.
Goes one of two ways.
Why are you going to be a hater right now?
And that's in Colorado.
Colorado.
So
ball flies.
Yes, it does.
But Javier, my boy Javi, if you look at him.
Oh, he's your new Javier, right? Because Baez is no longer a Cub.
Javier Baez? I've never heard of him. Anyway, the point is he has been dealing. He had a rough outing against Arizona. He's going to bounce back today against a really bad Colorado team. If you look at what I need from Javier, I need 4 strikeouts from Javier, right? That's what Javier's got to get me for the win because I went more. He's a strikeout machine, 7, 7, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 4. So he routinely surpasses the bar of 3.5 strikeouts. So we're going with 3 there. And then how about my guy, Cody Bellinger? Here's why I like Cody Bellinger today. Number one, he's 3 for 3 when I pick him in Prize Picks. He's going up against a guy named Chris I Ain't Flexin'.
Yeah.
Chris Flexin has a 7.36 ERA.
Nice name.
Yeah, dick. He is, in the month of September, it's not getting better. He's got an 11.25 ERA. He's given up 10 earned runs, 11 hits, 4 bombs, 14 ground ball, 18 fly ball, 8 innings, 158 pitches. My man gives up hits. And Cody Bellinger is hitting well. I love it. I went with the flex play. So on Prize Picks, and I think you guys probably know this already. On Prize Picks, you can go flex. You bet $20. You put up $20 to win $45 in daily fantasy. If you go straight away, you put up $20 to win $100.
Right.
But you got to go 3 for 3.
Now, that's what I did today.
You went 3 for 3
I
today.
went power play today. Now, my Prize Picks are very similar to your Prize Picks, but here's the difference. Chris Bryant, right in the middle there, against your boy, right? Against your boy Javi, to strike out once tonight. All I need my boy to do is strike out once tonight.
Wow.
And we're in a good place.
Why do you say hurtful things like this?
Well, because he's a strikeout machine. He is.
I'm trying to understand why you do hurtful things like this.
The idea that the Rockies thought that Chris Bryant would replace Nolan Arenado tells you who the Rockies are, dude.
Chris Bryant, in his last 10 games, 2 strikeouts, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. You're screwed.
No, I'm in a good place.
You're losing.
I'm in a good place.
You're a loser.
No, I'm in a good place.
I think you are in a good place. Mookie Betts, you took my Mookie Betts.
I did. Yeah. Well, that one, but see, again, it's what you said. I mean, how do you not take that? I mean,
You have to. They're giving it to you.
They're saying, hey, here's money. Take it.
They're giving it to you.
So, again, the difference here, and I've never won a power play before on Prize Picks. I'm a flex play guy. I'm not great at this, so I always flex play, give myself some insurance.
Yep.
But I'm going power play tonight because I feel really good against the Rockies that a guy like Bellinger has a big night. Chris Bryant strikes out once, and Mookie Betts gets on base one time.
Okay.
I feel like that's pretty safe.
Okay. I feel like we're both in good shape here.
Yeah.
I feel like we're both in good shape here. Hook it up. Where are you guys at on your Prize Picks? I'm with it, man. I'm absolutely with it. I love playing Prize Picks. I think you guys know that. Dolphins. Whoa. Hey, now. Boss Frog, Ravens were good. Okay. Monty, rank them for $5. 72 Dolphins, 75 Steelers. Well, the Steelers are better than the Dolphins. 89 Niners. 92 Cowboys, 07 Pats.
And we're...
I think you have to go 07 Patriots, 75 Steelers, 89 Niners, 92 Cowboys, 72 Dolphins. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. That's the one that I'm at. Mark Thorpe. Smoot and Robinson, both playing for my Jaguars, tore their Achilles tendons on the Jets' turf. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have torn his Achilles on grass. No, he wouldn't have because his toe would have given away. And they talked about that. MetLife is not forgiving. MetLife is not forgiving at all. It never has been. Riley O'Brien, We Fence by Jim Harbaugh is the new, by the way, is what I was told in my office today.
It's a we fence.
Okay. That's fine. Did the Pats even win? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Boss Frog. Was that the bar? Was it who wins a championship? Because I think that you have to, man, I think if you look at that list of teams, I am pretty sure. I think, who was on that team? If you think about that roster was, you guys, come on. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? Eight Pro Bowlers, 9 All-Pro, and they did that. No, that's the year. That's the helmet catch.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Eli Manning helmet catch. So they did not go. They did not go undefeated.
Tom Brady, Kevin Folk, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Kyle Brady, Ben Watson.
That's right. Kyle Brady was
Matt
on that
Light,
team.
Logan Mankins, Dan
that offensive
Copen,
line.
Steve Neal.
Oh.
Let's see. How
Logan
about on defense? Any of these names stand out? Ty Warren, Vince Wilfork, Jarvis Green, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Teddy Bruschi, Asante Samuel.
Yeah, the 07 Pats are, I think.
Rodney Harrison.
I think the 07 Pats. The 89 49ers, though. Man, you guys. The 89 49ers. Let me look up that roster. Oh, my God. I can think of. There are only a couple of teams that are. Because that was still the DeBartolo years. Steve Bono was. Steve Bono. Do you guys remember Steve Bono? Oh, my God. They went 14-2. That's right. Oh, my God. That team was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they are the, oh, my God. You guys, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, Guy McIntyre, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and John Taylor. That's crazy how many good players they had on that team. That's wild. That's wild. I remember that Super Bowl against the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that against the Broncos. The 92, and now they're like, no, do the Cowboys now. 92
There
Cowboys.
we go.
Well, this is one of the best teams ever, though. I think that Patriots team, Patriots or Niners, 89 Niners were, bro. But Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, I think Jay Novacek is arguably one of the greatest tight ends nobody ever talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Newton, Stepnoski. Think about the guys on that roster, you guys. That was the Bills' Super Bowl. Man, I wanted the Bills to win that Super Bowl so badly. Troy Aikman, that's the year he threw for, he went bananas, and I think he, in that day and age, 23 touchdowns. Yeah. Look at that. Look at the Jew Lord. Ken Norton Jr. Oh, my God. Remember Larry Brown with the, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't know. I'm going to say 07 Patriots, 89 Niners, 92 Cowboys, 75 Steelers, 70. The Dolphins have always been overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a jerk about that.
Dan Marino's the ultimate overrated quarterback, no?
Okay. Jeez Louise. Why would lump Dan Marino into that? Because is it Achilles tendon day?
No, why do we play the game?
Why? To win championships. To win. That's why you guys rank them. I think I got to go 07 Patriots.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't win a championship, but I don't care. I think that roster, 92 Cowboys or 89 Niners. Man, that 89 Niners team was just so damn good. I mean, stupid good.
Yeah.
Stupid good. That's really tough for me. Was that who was that, Walsh, or was that Seifert? I think that was Seifert. Yeah, I think I gotta go Joe Montana. Because that was one of his best years ever. Tom Rathman on that team. I mean, John Taylor as your best kick returner. You think about the guys that led that. I mean, Jerry Rice and John Taylor. I think you've got to put the Patriots 1, 89 Niners, 92 Cowboys, Steelers, Dolphins. Done.
Great.
Done. I think that's where I'm at on it. You hate me, don't you? Jake's like, I can't even have this conversation. Jim Choi, 69 Jets would stop. Stop it. And maybe we can have this fight too. You weren't even boiling in anybody's bag.
Yeah, I'll just check out. Okay.
Joe Namath was the most overrated quarterback ever. Let's stop. Like, Joe Namath is not one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. He's one of the most overrated quarterbacks ever. He's not one of the best quarterbacks ever. Stop. That's not even a conversation. Stop. Come on now. Gregory Krug says Terry Bradshaw's not overrated. Terry Bradshaw did not carry. He's not the reason that they won singularly. I would put that on their defense. But if you look at Terry Bradshaw, you don't accidentally be overrated and win 4 Super Bowls. You're not the Super Bowl MVP twice on one of the greatest teams ever, and multiple of those Steeler teams are the greatest teams ever. I mean, he was an NFL MVP. I mean, come on. Through the passing leader, touchdown leader, what are we even talking about? Now, did he throw too many damn interceptions? Yes, Terry Bradshaw threw way too many interceptions. But he was not overrated, in my opinion. Come on now. I don't, Gary Wolf says it was Walsh. No, I think it was George. Now you're going to make me look it up. That 89 Niners, I'm almost certain was, damn, I just had the roster right here. The 89, George Seifert, 14-2. Are you serious? That they only gave up 253 yards that year? Oh, my God. Or 253 points that year? Stop. Come on. Mike Smith, Dolphins not only won 8-game regular and post, but also probably did so with the least of all the teams listed.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm a big believer that it's very difficult to compare the 89 Niners, 92 Cowboys, 07 Patriots to anything the 70s Dolphins did. The game is so different.
Yeah.
So different. Beeves on a rampage for $5. Best defense ever, 85 Bears versus 00 Ravens. I think that, again, two different eras. That Ravens defense.
Legit.
But the Bears had a linebacking core. Come on now. Those Bears, Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall, Mike Singletary. You know, a lot of people forget about, William Perry. A lot of people forget about Dan Hampton, a Hall of Famer. Like, their front seven is the best front seven that has ever been assembled. Steve McMichael. I mean, that front seven's the best front seven ever. I'm not even sure. Honest to goodness. Like, you talk about sure bets. I mean, you know the best when you hear it. And when you hear the advocates, you know they're the best.
If you've been injured in a car accident, even if it wasn't your fault, you still have to deal with the consequences, like overdue medical bills, car repairs, and worse, insurance companies that try their hardest not to pay their fair share. No need to worry, though. The advocates are here to help.
The Advocates, theadvocates.com.
No love for my guy over here?
The 07 Patriots of injury attorneys. George Seifert of injury attorneys. The Advocates at theadvocates.com. You guys, you can chat with an injury attorney live online. The biggest question I get about the Advocates, hey, bro, do they do workman's comp? Yes, they do workman's comp. Yes, they do workman's comp. They've seen it all. And I always tell you about one of our viewers that hurt his ankle. He got his ankle crushed by a forklift. Yes, they do workman's comp. Absolutely, they do. Theadvocates.com, where you never pay the Advocates out of your pocket, and you can chat with an attorney for free. It doesn't cost you a cent to talk to an attorney today at theadvocates.com. All right, a couple more on this. Football at 50 coming up. Boss Frog, Richard Dent, one of the best defensive ends ever. Yes.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Alex Reyes says, "Da Bears." Gregory Krug says, Bradshaw has 212 TDs and 210 interceptions. Too many interceptions. That's the one knock on him. Tony, hey, Tone. The Buddy Ryan Bears. Buddy Ryan was such a jerk. Oh, my God. But, man, he could coach. He was a defensive. He should have never been a head coach.
No,
Buddy
totally
Ryan
not.
should never have been a head coach.
Nope.
Beavers on a rampage. Carson Wentz, 155 touchdowns, 66 interceptions. Cool, bro. Tarrant County, boy. 2013 Seahawks. There's an overrated football team.
Defense wasn't overrated.
That is a defense. That's not an offense.
Yeah.
That's what that is. MJ Bissett. MJ Bissett? We used to have somebody named MJ Bissett that would comment on this show. I mean, obviously that doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
What? Ravens 2000 team had more rules limiting the brutality they could dish out. How many first downs do the Bears give up by a penalty just from hard hits in the 2000s era? Yeah, and I think it's really hard. Well, Michael or Kobe? LeBron. I'm telling you now, Ian Edwards is better than Michael. Like, you can't compare them across eras. Jerry West or Magic Johnson? I don't know. And nobody ever said Luka. Dylan Brooks, or Ron Artest Malice at the Palace. Go. Like, we can't keep comparing guys across eras. I think that's a great point, MJ. OG Gary, what's up, my guy? Did Geoff, a.k.a. Mr. Spinal, use the Advocates? Why? Why?
Oh, my God.
Kevin Spinal. You guys are such jerks. Aaron Rodgers needs to call the Advocates. He does. That turf. He should sue. Gregory Krug. Steve McMichael was also in the Four Horsemen. Yeah,
Did you guys see that merger got done today?
UFC and WWE, and Vince McMahon is done with the WWE.
Yeah, see you later.
He is chairman and in name only. He has no decision-making or influence over professional wrestling any longer. How wild is that?
Yeah.
Are you guys professional wrestling fans? I'm not at all.
No.
Jim Choi, Red Auerbach, or the Boston Celtics? Red Auerbach or Phil Jackson? Exactly.
Having fun is the name of the game.
Bob Cousy or Steve Kerr? Go.
No. You know.
No. Jim Choi, Buddy was the real head coach of the 85 Bears. He got the ride at the end. Well, so did Ditka, wearing one of the I will regret until the day I die. For Christmas the next year, I got that Bears sweater vest that just said Bears across the T-Ots. And I regret to this day, I regret giving that to the Salvation Army in Chicago.
Bro, what?
I gave it away.
Gave it away?
I was moving from an apartment to a townhouse with a bunch of bros. We played baseball together, worked in restaurants, like had a great thing. We were hammered all the time. But when I was like 19. And I had this Bears sweater that was my prized possession. And I was like, I never wear this thing. Gave it away. So much regret. My 85 Chicago Bears garbage can. Oh, so much regret over that thing. I would love to have that right now.
Yeah.
Would love to. I don't. Gary Wolf, that guy that tackled Rodgers might be as heavy as a forklift. Well, I mean, both those. Leonard Floyd, the play before. Mike Smith, Mongo, yes. Vince got G-Cade. George Kliavkoff coughed. He did get pushed out. Tarrant County, boy. Boss Frog, where do the 2023 Horned Frogs rank? Oh, right there with the... Okay. Nope. Wow, look at this. John DeLau, JDL. Real men lose interest in fake wrestling right around puberty.
Damn, bro.
Dude, I love WCW. Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, when Sting would just sit up in the rafters and never wrestle.
Wrestling.
Boss Frog says not top 100. The Big Lubbock. Tim Duncan or Karl Malone with a C, not a K.
Guys.
You realize Karl Malone is spelled Karl, right? Karl Malone.
Nice name.
Fat Cheese is Growcock or Tanner. Go. Growcock or guys. Hey, guys.
Hey, look here, man.
More legendary. Growcock? Corey Growcock is a real name on this show. Go back. Fat Jesus.
Wow.
Always stirring the pot. Mike Smith, best stuntman ever, the Fall Guy, Hooper, or Super Dave Osborne, the Fall Guy? Yes. Hey, Tone, I stopped watching wrestling when Sting ended the Crow era, 1999. Oh, remember that?
No, I don't actually.
Yeah, Like I had a Lakers satin jacket in the 80s. Now it's worth thousands. I know. Totally. I had a Chicago Cubs starter jacket, one of those quarter zip pullover starter jackets. Oh, my God. I would give a right. No, I wouldn't give a right nut for that jacket. I wouldn't. Actually, no, I wouldn't. No. Nope, I wouldn't. Let's see. Big Blue Horses. 4 Horsemen, baby. Woo! Exactly right. Low-key, Growcock, Lopes fan games. Gabe, you voted for Growcock.
Cock.
You voted for him. I know
cock.
you did. Let's see. Adams. Whoa. Tarrant County, boy. I love Shane McMahon's theme song. I've never heard it. Adams P. Jordan or LeBron? Okay, guys.
I knew today would be shitty.
Michael Jordan wore low tops in 1984. If you make him wear low tops, and then you have LeBron wear LeBron 10 mids, watermelon colorway. Can't do it. OG Gary, I wish I kept my number 8 Kobe jersey. Oh, me too. I really regret. Jake and I won an auction for some Kobe Pro Tro Bruce Lee's. And they were selling for like 3 times what we paid for them on StockX. So Jake sold them. I wish we hadn't done that.
Me too.
They were in Jake's size.
Too.
Yeah. Made a pretty penny on those, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Oh, man. Chad Masters, Dr. Kelly Brackett or Dr. Joe Early? Kelly Brackett. I'm in season 5 of Emergency when he was like up
Dude,
doing
we're talking about an 80s TV show right now.
No, we're not. We're talking about a 70s
Oh,
TV
excuse
show.
me. Excuse me, sir.
Tarrant County, boy. Who can now forget the McMahon strut? Oh, man. MJ Bissett, NWO versus the Generation X. NWO all day. The Air all the way. Johnny Gonzalez. Jordan could wear flip-flops and still get 60. He could. Do you guys have a piece of sports memorabilia you wish you had kept? Whether it's a jersey, a jacket, Mine's that Bears sweater vest. Like, do you have one of those, Jake?
Yeah, those Kobe's for sure, 100%.
That's the one.
100%. Yep. Don't have a pair of Kobe's.
I don't know. Have I lost interest in shoes? No, I haven't. But I'm so into golf now.
Yeah.
But if I had one piece of memorabilia, see, I grew up in the 80s. Like, I was born in 73. Like, right around 78, 79, I have memories of clothing. Bro, there are so many. I wish that I had a well-fitting pair of corduroy pants. You guys remember when corduroy pants were cool and not something you found at, like, some stupid 5 and dime store now? Like, there's a lot of things I wish I had kept. I had so many Cub baseballs that I had gotten at batting practice or signed. I don't even know where they went. So many baseball cards. I have no idea where they went. But it's more the clothing, the starter jacket, that Chicago Bears sweater. I had my mom one year for my birthday let me go shopping. There, you guys remember they used to send starter catalogs to your house?
Mm-hmm.
She let me go shopping in the NBA store in the starter catalog. And I was a huge 76ers fan when I was younger. And I will never forget the first time I ever got starter Philadelphia 76ers authentic game shorts. No idea where those are.
I'm for real.
Oh, my God. Do you guys remember Orlando Woolridge? You probably don't. But Orlando Woolridge, the Big O, met him at the Athlete's Foot at Deerbrook Mall in Northbrook, Illinois. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Dude, there's so many.
I'm so bricked up right now.
MJ Bissett, Houston Oilers jacket. Okay. OG Gary, I really want the Kobe threes. Everybody wants the Kobe threes. Kobe auctions for the next year are going to be very difficult to win, I think. Mike Smith, original black and red Air Jordans. I have a pair. Not original, but the re-release. Richard Tracy, Dr. Spock or Mr. Spock?
Mr.
Dr. Spock. Mike Smith, black and red, yes. Jim Choi, Sears, Tough Skins. Man, remember Sears and Roebuck? Beavers on a Rampage. I have Sammy Sosa away jersey with Cubs across the front. As someone who lived 4 blocks from Wrigley, I still wear it with pride. 3 times 60 home runs.
Yeah, I can't.
Jake almost wet himself as a young man. Do you remember that?
No.
At Wrigley Field, I took Jake when I worked at Fox back in the day. I took Jake to Wrigley Field, and he got to meet, on the field, he got to meet Sammy Sosa, and he was
Who the f*** is that guy?
I think I still might have a Sammy Sosa batting practice jacket, actually. I have some, yeah, you know. Me and my uncle gave me his old Laker Letterman's jacket. I don't know where it's at. I think I gave it to my ex, you son of a biscuit. You gave it to a woman. Jeff Woodworth signed MJ Dream Team shorts. Oh.
Damn, bro.
Yes. Tarrant County, boys. 70s and 80s were the Adidas and Converse All-Star days. Oh, man. Dude, you are not kidding. MJ Bissett, MJ Dream Team shorts, how much you sell it for? Exactly right. Gary Wolf, Dr. J or the Ice M? No idea. JDL, Dalton Hilliard signed Saints program and card that got drenched in water while I was moving into a new apartment in the rain. Oh, damn. Damn. Mike Smith, corduroy pants would start fires if you ran in them. Dude, do you remember the sound that the corduroy with your thighs rubbing together would make? Oh, I loved it. I loved Garanimals, dude. Best brand ever. Brandon Butler, a couple more. My autographed Black and Blues brother poster from the 85 Bears. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Lamont Tucker. What's up, Lamont? Chris Webber and Juwan Howard, Washington Bullets, and a Rob Pelinka, Michigan jersey. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Love that. Love that. Love, love, love that. LV Seminole. Autographed pair of Rain Man 2s. Wow. How rare are those? Mike Smith, Gary Payton used glove of love. Oh, stop. LV Seminole, I do have a signed supersonic flag. Peyton, Kemp, and George Karl. That's worth $1. Absolutely. Giggity, what's up? I've never gotten rid of my Monty Show shirt. See? Now we're talking big dollars. Justin has a Hakeem Olajuwon rookie card. Let's go. The Big Lugmick, Iceman over Dr. J. George Gervin was a stud, but Dr. J, dude, come on now. MJ Bissett, Rain Man 2s, Sean Kemp has like 15. Oh, that is baby mamas you're talking about shoes. My bad. Wow. David C., O.J. Simpson rookie card. Is it worth anything?
Has to be.
Conference Commissioner Gumby. O.J. Simpson isotoner gloves. Isotoner.
Oh, yeah. Guys. I've got OJ's knife. It was really cool.
You know. My wife is awesome. She's on a big work trip this week, which I will say I slept like a baby last night. I went home. She kind of like meal prepped for me. She made me roll gold potatoes.
I'm for real.
I cut them in half, put them in a bowl with ground turkey, heated them up, dumped a bunch of barbecue sauce on top of it. Amazing. All right, couple more. Jim Choi, what about human highlight film Dominique Wilkins? Oh my God, yes. You guys remember the cartoon shirts that had like Dominique Wilkins dunking on a rim? Oh my God. Yes. OG Gary, I wonder if Sammy knows if bitches love Sosa or not. Wow.
What?
Okay. Gary's drinking at work. LV Seminole, you opened the floodgates with the Monty gear post. When do we get the Monty show gear?
Guy.
And, pardon me,
okay, I will tell you, we are working on a business venture.
We may have to go short in a couple cases.
We are working on a business venture that requires us to not open the spigot, let's say drip water out of the spigot. And then we'll open the spigot. We had a solution, but then Salty Drunk. Tanner has personally autographed Spider-Man underwear if anybody's interested. What is wrong with you? We need Xmas gifts. Hurry up, please, Cleveland Rock says. Okay. Monty sounds like back of the envelope calculations. I can't tell you.
Back of the envelope calculations.
We want a shirt with a cartoon Monty huddled over a mic bubble above head that says, "Dear God, these fans are killing me." Salty Drunk, stop promising merch drop, Monty. You know it's not happening. You're not wrong. Who has a Derek Jeter gift basket? Your mom.
Who's got a Deshaun Watson washcloth?
Okay.
His cock.
Why? Tarrant County boy, have Vadi autograph. I'm sure you do.
Who?
Dad
what are you
works
talking
for
about, man?
Vitaeus, father-in-law. Okay. Menaki Vitae? Okay. Jeff says, I have a signed Pam Anderson centerfold. I used to have a Belinda Carlisle autographed plate. I did. And those were back in the days, though, that you could get, like back in the 90s when you could get Playboy delivered to your door, to your mailbox. Like when it was a simpler time.
Yeah, when the iPhone didn't exist, and we weren't cool kids.
I'm buying the iPhone. I don't care what anybody says. You guys can call me an idiot. It doesn't matter. I am telling you, when it comes out on Friday and it's available for order, was I not looking at it in the Apple store today?
Yeah, you were.
3 days, MFers. Start tipping me now because Big Daddy needs a new iPhone.
Look here, man.
Need is not the word that I would use. So here's the funny thing. Mrs. Monty's out of town.
Right.
Do you ask your wife before you make a big purchase?
What's a big purchase?
Anything over $500. That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it depends. I don't
know what dollar. I put it at $1,000.
If we're talking about golf rounds, yeah, probably should.
I put it at $1,000. If I'm going to spend more than $1,000, I'm going to be like, honey.
Yeah, but you know the sales package on the iPhone.
I want this
Honey. Yeah, it's $1,100, but it's only $40 a month.
$13.99 through the Apple Store.
Oh, excuse me. Honey.
But you know what's more expensive than the and I'm not kidding. You guys, so for those of you who don't know, real quick, for those of you who don't know, the Apple is releasing a new phone on Friday, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, because there's no other model. Just give it up now. So what I'm going to do is, hell yeah, I'm going to order that phone on Friday. The funny thing is, I'll probably just buy it outright. Honestly, the Apple card, I have an Apple card, and they give you 0% for 18 months. So I could easily do that. I could pay for it outright, but why would I pay for it when I can get 0% for 18 months? Why would you do that? I tell my wife I'm doing that, or do I just go and do it?
Probably should talk about it, but I don't know.
Do you talk to your significant other about it?
Well, I don't have a wife.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
So girlfriend doesn't count?
No.
You guys live together.
Not technically.
Well, no, bro. Not technically. Ho's not on the lease or nothing. You know.
Waves in opposition.
Just because her cat and her parakeet are in my place doesn't mean she lives there.
Here I am.
You know. The parakeet, I like parakeets. Judge me if you want.
Is that what we're calling it now?
It's our parakeet. You know. Is that what we're calling it now? Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay. OG Gary, same. I already have the pre-order in my cart. They're available to put in your cart. Goddamn right.
Put it in your cart.
I got my son a Dean Jones autograph of him in the Love Bug. Okay. Adams P says, my Russell Wilson Let's Ride poster. How's that working?
Bronco Nation. Let's ride.
Tarrant County, boy. Where's the Monty bobblehead, though, bro? Not made yet.
So wait, do you talk about it, or are you just going to do it?
I think I'm probably just going to do it, and then I'll take my punishment.
Okay.
Well, is this Monty confessional time?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
I did buy a rangefinder this week.
Mm-hmm. That was a need.
Did I ask permission? No. Will I ask for forgiveness?
Yes.
Yes. I'm married. I want to procreate. I have to. I ask for.
Dude.
Look, I'll return it if
guys,
it means.
Guys.
Look, if we can just ride for 3 minutes,
His
I'll
cock.
return it. Oh my God. Jim Choi, what's the difference between the iPhones? A lot of differences. The Pro Max is a bigger screen and a lot more powerful.
The Pro Max has a truly a new advancement in camera technology.
Yes, it does.
It's not. It isn't like, just more megapixels. This is like different now.
Way better zoom, way better everything.
And the USB-C thing is a huge difference.
And on the Pro Max, the USB-C is a true USB-C, and it's blazing fast. What is it, 10 megs a second or something?
10 gigs.
10 gigs a second?
Yeah, on the Pro Max model.
Monty is an alpha male. He doesn't need to ask permission.
Yeah, well, it's funny how that comes back to get you sometimes.
Yeah, well. James, if you do a bobblehead, you have to do one at your desk with a mic while you're praying. Notre Dame, our mother. Exactly.
Notre Dame, our mother.
Go for broke and get the Apple VR thing too, LOL. Now, I'm not doing Apple VR. I'm not doing Apple VR. All right. Let's reset the show, why don't we, friends? Because coming up in 20 minutes, you know what? What is the biggest sports story today? Here on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Bucked Up Energy. Bucked Up Energy. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. 20% off at checkout at buckedup.com. So where are you at? Now the Cubs have announced that Jeimer Candelaria is on the 10-day deal with a back injury.
Wait, weren't you just telling me not to play the spinal drop?
Spinal.
I guess.
Back is broken.
I guess. I give up.
I broke my back.
Tell them who's coming up at 5:30.
Lemma Harrington, BYU Legends coming up at 5:30.
That's all you got?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, Lemma Harrington's going to join us in 20 minutes previewing BYU football this weekend against Arkansas. We'll ask him about, so you got to really
Okay.
You got to really get it. We'll ask him about BYU quarterback Keaton Slovis. Is he good enough to carry the Cougs to the Pac-12, or is he good enough to carry the Cougs to the Big 12 season?
Right.
I was giving you a chance to audition.
No, it's okay. You're too good at it. Don't worry about it.
Lemma Harrington, presented by Tri-Day Trading, coming up this hour of the show, presented by our good friends at BuckedUp.com. BuckedUp.com, you guys, I tell you every single day, I think Bucked Up has made a difference in my life. In fact, I know they have. I started using Bucked Up products. Weight started falling off. I'm sleeping better. I'm feeling better. I'm eating less because I feel more full. And the Buckshot is amazing. If you have not tried it, get in the description below. You can get a free sampler pack of Buckshot. Get to BuckedUp.com. Right now, they're having a great sale on their whey protein isolate. All you have to do is go to BuckedUp.com. And the thing that I like about BuckedUp.com, you pull up the site, and it's super easy to use. You'll see right on the front page of their site, you're going to see all of their pre-workouts. If you just go to shop at the top of the screen, or if you click on search, there's a big search bar and you just type in Buckshot. I would highly recommend you do it because Buckshot right now, when you look at the pricing on Buckshot, you're getting $3 off. It's only $29.95. All of their flavors except the variety pack is now sold out. Don't say I didn't warn you because they sell out. They've got watermelon, rocket pop, blue raz, and blood raz. The blue raz and the watermelon are my two favorite. When you use the Monty 20 discount, it saves you a significant amount of money just on one. Let's see, what does it save you on one? Normally $29.95. If you just go to the cart and you use the promo code Monty20, you are going to save Monty20 $7.
It's a lot.
It's a good savings at BuckedUp.com. Hook it up, use the promo code Monty20, or if you're in Utah, you can go to any of the Bucked Up stores. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. They will give you a free can of energy drink from Bucked Up. Get the cherry candy, you guys. It is awesome. I'm a big fan of Miami, but my favorite by far right now is cherry candy. Go get it. Let's see. Where are you guys at? Mike Smith, Beavers are the future. We all must support the Beaver. Totally agree.
Right.
Mike Smith says the biggest sports story today, Aaron Rodgers wins temp injunction versus the Pac-10. Mel Tucker and Art Briles. Aaron is winning.
Yeah,
but in all seriousness, what do you guys think is the biggest story today? I think it's probably Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The Mel Tucker thing at Michigan State, I don't know if you guys saw it. The governor of Michigan she is calling for a full investigation into Michigan State as to why they held the news. They did not take immediate action when allegations were made. And this goes back to the Larry Nassar debacle at Michigan State. You remember Larry Nassar, the U.S. Olympic massage doctor guy? He was also at Michigan State. He assaulted many of his patients. He is in prison where he was recently attacked and stabbed. Michigan State has a history of this now. And Governor Whitmer in Michigan is rightfully asking questions about the administration at Michigan State. And I think this Mel Tucker thing is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
I think it is just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. McKinley Cutler, yeah, absolutely. Kevin Porter Jr. arrested for domestic violence. Man.
Dude, that's rough, man.
Kevin Porter Jr., I don't know. I mean, what do you even say about this? Houston Rocket Kevin Porter Jr. has a history of erratic behavior off the floor. So much so that they gave him one of the rarest contracts in the NBA, which is not guaranteed. It is one of the rarest things to see an NBA contract not fully guaranteed. His first year of that contract was fully guaranteed, nothing else. Kevin Porter Jr. allegedly over the weekend had a violent domestic violence incident with his girlfriend. She has a broken jaw. She was being choked, allegedly, according to the arraignment. She has a cut above her eyebrow. She was only able to get away and run into a lobby covered in blood. According to prosecutors, if you go and read the affidavits, he has been abusive to this woman who's a former professional basketball player.
Yeah.
Like, he hit her car with his car, allegedly. This Kevin Porter Jr. thing is wild. And it does make you wonder about the 2019 class. And when you look at Kevin Porter Jr., I don't know what you do with this. I honestly...
I mean, it's classic, just guy is trouble off the court. I mean, I don't
does
know
he ever
what else
play
to
again?
say. No, I mean, at this point, no, I don't. I don't see a way back. I mean, it's taken, Miles Bridges, 2 seasons now after his domestic violence issues popped up? And his allegations weren't nearly as bad as these allegations. So, for me, I just think that the NBA is not a league that accepts that kind of behavior. I mean, with all due respect to the NFL, the NBA doesn't tolerate that. And if you're going to roll out here and start beating on women in the NBA, you're not going to be around. And that's what I think guys like Kevin Porter Jr. don't understand. Just because you're young and just because you got paid for the first year of your contract doesn't mean that you're bulletproof or something. It doesn't mean that you can't just throw your career away, which in my opinion is what he's just done.
I think he absolutely has done that, and I think you're not wrong about the class of 2019. Number 1 pick in that draft, Zion Williamson.
Yep.
Number 2 pick, John Morant. You look at the Jackson Hayes, number 8 pick, domestic violence. You just look at some of the names on this list, and it is not good. And I don't know what you do with Kevin Porter Jr., who was drafted 30th in that draft, and it's been a wreck. Gary Wolf, what is it about H-Town? First Deshaun Watson, now this Porter story. Houston's had a tough time. I mean, Texas is a massive piece of land.
Yeah.
And so there's more humanity there. I don't think Texans are bad people. I don't think they're any more prone to crime.
I don't think it's got anything to do with Texas as a state. I think that you've got 2 individuals who have money and think clearly that they can just get away with things. And obviously Deshaun's situation wasn't domestic violence. Obviously, it was sexual nature, obviously, and that's a whole different beast. And I think that the problem for Kevin Porter Jr. is that there's no like wiggling out of this. There's no arguing your way out of, hey, you punched a woman in the face with a closed fist. Like, there's no getting away with that. I mean, again, this takes me back to the Dana White slapping his wife on tape thing.
Yes.
Right? Like, Dana White slapped his wife on tape. But now we've all forgotten about that because he's Dana White and he's not an athlete. He's an executive, whatever. Okay. But guys like Kevin Porter Jr. don't have that luxury. And this guy, dude, the Rockets are immensely talented, but so poorly run. No discipline, no culture, no nothing. And that's what that type of organizational lacking leads to guys just doing whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah, I don't know how you fix it. I don't, because this is always going to happen. Some guys are just going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You don't fix that. It's not bad culture. It's not the state of Texas. It's some guys are going to get in trouble. It doesn't matter where they are, Porter going to end up in China. He'll end up somewhere. I don't think it'll be the NBA. I don't know. If Trevor Bauer, who wasn't convicted of anything, can't get a job in Major League Baseball, are you telling me Kevin Porter Jr. is getting a job in the NBA? I find that tough to believe. I do. OG Gary, Houston man meets Florida man. But I don't think it's about that.
No.
I think Texas gets a bad rap, and I understand some things have happened there. But Beavers on a rampage. Rice is the best team in Houston. Okay. Johnny Gonzalez. Maury is a liar and was around Houston around the time of 2019. Daryl Morey will never get away. The Todd Father, this isn't a new story. We're always going to have some awful testosterone-fueled a-holes. Truth.
Yeah, dude.
Truth.
And I feel like the NFL has done a good job of cutting down on that or cutting back on it, but we still get stories.
I would agree with that. LeBron to the Olympics, real quick. Alema Harrington in 10 minutes talking Big 12 and BYU football. LeBron to the Olympics.
Yeah.
He wants to, I think, obviously he wants to win another gold medal, but I think he wants supremacy back for the Team USA. Do you like this or hate this?
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. I mean, I think that, Team USA gets this sort of, cloud hung over them for what happened in FIBA, and I just don't think that FIBA is a representation of the world's talent. I think that, how could it be if the U.S. isn't sending its best talent? Because we don't care to win FIBA. And I think that what LeBron is trying to do here is say, yeah, sure, I want to win another gold medal. But I think LeBron wants to prove a point. I think that LeBron was on that Kobe team when they owned everybody and just destroyed everybody. And I think what's tough is that LeBron hasn't really been on the national stage in a minute. In that sense, like the world stage, representing his country. And I think that, guys like Steph and KD and, everybody that would be a part of that, Jason Tatum, Draymond, whoever you want to point to, all these guys know it's worth it because they know they're better and they can go out and dominate teams. And that's why, that's where I say, dude, like the FIBA thing, I feel like Team USA got a bad rap because we don't take that seriously. We're not even close to sending our best talent to FIBA. And it's not a thing where we need to send better talent. We're not even trying to win that tournament, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, Steve Kerr's going to tell you they're trying to win, but they're just trying to win the games that they're playing with the team that they have. We're not being like, yeah, we're sending our best and we lost. Like, that's not the case. So, yeah, I mean, I like this for LeBron. I think it's smart to have LeBron headline it as sort of a, hey, this is my last go-around on the world stage. But then you've got great shooters like Steph, and all the boys are coming. So I like it a lot. I think LeBron's smart for this.
And I also think that they are going to get KD. They're going to get Book. They're going to get Steph. They're going to get Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They're going to get the best Americans. I'm curious where Joel Embiid winds up.
Yeah.
And who Joel plays for. Because I think that's really interesting. I think it's one of those deals where – you have to. I think you have to want to play in the Olympic tournament. It's a ball buster. It hurts your career in the NBA. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I guess the question that I would ask you is, do you believe that Team USA is still the best team in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the talent that we have and when we send our full squad, yeah, we're the best team in the world. But I think that Team USA is we're loaded, and it's the same thing like basketball, golf. Like anytime we actually try to win something, we go out and we obliterate the competition. And I think that's the hard part. Like, we've had epic debates with, folks like James Knight or other folks on the show who want to say that, now all of a sudden because, we lost FIBA, we feel a need to send our best talent. I don't even think it has anything to do with a need to send our best talent. I think LeBron wants to go out on a high horse. I think LeBron saw the way that guys like Michael ended his career, saw the way that Kobe was forced to end his career because of injuries. Bron understands that the injury bug has slowly but surely been hunting him. And I think LeBron James wants to finish on a high horse. And I also think that guys like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, they understand the importance. Like Devin Booker is obviously much younger than LeBron and would cherish the opportunity to go out in Paris at the Olympics and play with all-time greats. I mean, that's what basketball is about. You want to go out, play with the guys that you're really close with. By all accounts, Book and LeBron are pretty close. And you want to go out and make memories and win big games and prove a point. So, yeah, I do think we have the best team. I do think we have the best talent in the world. I don't even think we need Joel Embiid to be on our team to win the tournament. Would it be nice? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm not a Bam Adebayo guy, but he's probably the guy you want to send if Joel's not going to be on your team. But, yeah, overall, I think we do have the best talent. I do think we dominate that tournament, and I do think it would be a situation where it wouldn't even be close because we're just that much better.
Yeah, I think, and this is just my opinion, I think this is way overinflated. I just don't think it matters if we win the Olympic tournament. Is it that big of a deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Olympics, dude.
I don't know if it's that big of a deal anymore. I think the FIBA thing the other day, everybody losing their mind over it. I don't think FIBA has been relevant for how long's it been since FIBA was like, oh yeah, we got to go out and kick everybody's ass. I think it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Quite literally. And I think the Olympics have become such a thing that they're so controversial anymore. It's like the World Cup of soccer. Now, the World Cup, I think, is the only thing players care about if you're in Europe, if you're from Spain, if you're from wherever. How many people in North America are like, man, U.S. men's national team has to win the World Cup?
On the women's side.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think on the women's side
it's far more.
I think the men's side has always been a disappointment, but that's the difference between soccer and basketball. In soccer, we don't have the best talent. In soccer, we're not, in my opinion, a legitimate world power. We say we are, but we're not. We're just not.
Yeah,
in basketball, we have the ability to say, yeah, rando team that beat Team USA this year in FIBA, laugh now, but cry later when it actually matters because we will have the boys. And I think that's what people don't appreciate, man. Everyone wants to pick on Team USA. It's like the lion and hyena thing, right?
Yes.
The rest of the world wants to pick on the lion until the lion shows up with the heavy hitters, and then suddenly,
totally
Lithuania
agree.
doesn't want to run their mouth anymore.
Totally agree.
And that's what I think the Olympics serve as. Are they a pain in the ass? Yeah, maybe they're a little bit of a pain in the ass. Sure.
I just don't know that are they meaningful anymore. That's the thing, and I'm struggling with that, and I don't know that the Olympics, they certainly don't mean what they meant in the 70s and 80s and maybe
certainly.
the 90s,
Yeah,
right?
Certainly.
It's not the same thing. Remember
No.
the Olympics in Salt Lake. Remember the Olympics in Los Angeles. Like, they just don't mean that much anymore. And I think it's because we've gotten to a place now where we're just a different society, man. We are as people, we have so much other stuff that we can do. We're so addicted to our phones.
Mm-hmm.
That I think things like the Olympics have faded. I understand why LeBron wants it. I understand why NBA guy. If I was at LeBron's level, frankly, I'd probably want to win a gold medal as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
finish on a high horse, man.
Give me the Olympic ring tattoo that they all get. Like, hey, I totally understand that. But it just feels like the Olympics aren't what they used to be. Having said that, I would love the Olympics to come back to Salt Lake. 100%. I would be thrilled for like a full-on, Winter Olympics, summer. Like I'm here for it, dude. I can't wait for. I love the winter season. You guys know we're big snowboarders on the show. As much as I don't want the golf season, and Delaric says you think he tries to get Bronny on the team. Probably not. I would think not. I mean, when you're talking about the Olympics, I mean, LeBron would clearly recruit Alema Harrington before Bronny because, Alema's got that jump shot, don't you?
Well, I don't know about that. My jump shot's been off since I broke my arm in half. But I got some kids maybe that would be interested in that kind of thing. But you make such a great point, man, about the Olympics and the shine that it once had that it doesn't have today. And pointing to the fact that everything's on our phones, and because there was a time when the Olympics and the NBA, by the way, the NBA on NBC and the Olympics on NBC, which was my heyday at Channel 5, an NBC affiliate. And when I signed with Channel 5 back in 1996, we were looking at the 2002 Olympics. It was a huge deal. Now, it coming back to Salt Lake City, that's exciting for our local economy. But as far as the world stage is concerned, I don't know that people, we don't gather around the TV like we used to.
No.
And there was a time when you would get up, if the Olympics were overseas, and you would get up at 2 a.m. or 5 a.m. to watch the Olympic Games. and the recap shows and Bob Costas and all of those things, but that's just not the world we live in anymore. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I think you make some very, astute points when it comes back to the way that we consume our media these days. And, live events when they're our team, whether it's BYU or the Utah Jazz, the University of Utah, here in the state, Utah State, Weber State, Southern Utah, all of those things are important to us. But even then, I was at my kids' practice watching the Utah game on my phone. And so, I mean, there's just different things that the way that we partake of and consume media that have completely changed the game as far as viewership is concerned. And it's not the viewership just feast that it used to be. It's just not that anymore.
No, and I think we also used to, I'm 50 years old. So when I was a kid, I had to be home by dark, but that's because I already had dinner. So I was out, my mom was trying to make me run around and play wiffle ball with the neighborhood kids. And because we sat around the table and we had dinner and it's just I think it's a different time. And this LeBron thing, I hope that Team USA always wins. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think most of us root for Team USA or whatever, but I just think it means something different. Lemma Harrington joins us thanks to our friends at TryDayTrading.com. Lemma, is Kedon Slovis the guy to lead BYU football?
Well, I think that here's the great thing about the two games that you had in warm-up for Arkansas is that the passing game did not look good in the opening game against Sam Houston, but it rebounded and you passed for close to 350 yards this past weekend. And I think that the passing game is probably back. Is Kedon Slovis the guy to lead them forward? I think that he is. He certainly has the experience to go along with, taking over this offense that will allow him. I think for some reason we thought there's not going to be any learning curve. They're going to get out there and it's just going to be, they're going to throw for 400 yards. Which wasn't the case in week one. The good news is that you were able to take your lumps and learn and make your mistakes in a victory against Sam Houston, and then come back and perfect some of those things and get ready for Arkansas in the game last week against Southern Utah. So I do think that Kedon Slovis is the guy to lead them forward. All the things that we saw during the offseason and then in spring and then in fall camp, I think are starting to look a lot better after last week. Is it going to be enough going up against an Arkansas defense and secondary and the kind of athletes that Arkansas will put on the field? Granted, they have a new defensive coordinator and they might be going through some bumps and along the way as well. But I think that certainly the two warm-up games that BYU's had is going to prepare them for this game against Arkansas. And I understand. You're going to Arkansas in a team that just walloped you last year, and you got a lot to prove. And so, you got to go out there and prove it. And you go in there as a pretty significant underdog, and you got to let the Big 12 know, or anybody that's watching TV, BYU fans across the country, let them know that, hey, we came here to play. But this is going to be a tough season. I think we understand that. We want to be optimistic as much as we can, but we got to be realistic at the same time.
Oh, I think that's absolutely right. And I think when you say it's going to be a tough season, I love what I've seen out of this defense. Mm-hmm. And I am pleasantly surprised at the development of guys. I think this defense just needed a new voice. That doesn't mean that the prior regime of defensive coaches were bad coaches or bad people, but I think you see with a lot of returning talent here, Lemma, I am just thrilled with the aggression, the smarts, the schematics. This defense looks like it is ready to compete on a down in, down out basis.
I agree with you 100%. And I've mentioned this before on the show that I had the pleasure and the opportunity to be able to watch Jay Hill as a head coach at Weber State and he was running the defense at that time too, and watch what he was doing with players And you mentioned the word development. I love the way that he is in a short period of time, right? These guys, this defense looks completely different than it did last year. And it's not just schematics. And granted, yeah, they're coming after the quarterback a lot more than they did in the past, which was 0 last year and the years past, right? They are aggressively going after the quarterback. But the defense that we watched when I was doing Weber State games is a defense that flies around. It's a defense that collectively is getting to the ball. And that's what you're seeing. And I think there's some short-term and long-term benefits of having Jay Hill there. I've had conversations with plenty of former BYU guys that have been frustrated over the years with the way that BYU recruits, and especially legacy players, kids that are coming from a BYU home and their dads played at BYU. I think that Jay Hill understands that. And this is taking nothing away from Kalani and his heritage as a BYU guy. But the recruiting that Jay Hill is going to bring, and the other coaches, that have come along with him, I think that there's going to be a significant difference that is going to be noticeable in the way that BYU is going to be able to recruit with this defense that they're putting on the field, but also the coaches that are going to be doing the recruiting. And that's a big deal. For me as a former player, and I don't have a kid that went to BYU, but the conversations that former players have and the way that former players feel about the program and the way that we feel like the program feels about us is a huge deal. When we're just talking about that community. And, as we talk about BYU and the family feel and Slovis talking about, man, I just love being here because of the way it feels. That thing's got to permeate and go out throughout the community. And as that continues to develop under Kalani Sitake, I think that the recruiting power becomes a lot stronger. And recruiting is different with NIL and all of those things. But I got to tell you, you go back to the olden days when I was being recruited, and a lot of these players were being scouted and identified by former players who were out in their smaller communities and saying, hey, I got this kid, man. I think you ought to take a look at him. And if the coaching staff respects that enough to at least pursue it, then that's a big deal. If the coaching staff, has a kid that is identified by a former player that is out there in his community, has gone back to Texas or California or wherever the case may be, and they just ignore that, then I'll tell you what, then you don't make those suggestions anymore. And you feel like, man, they don't really care about me. And it may seem like a really small thing, but that's a big deal in the college football community, and you want to feel that with your alma mater.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely huge. And I think one of the things that's so interesting is the way that process you just described, we're in a completely different way of doing business now. Mm-hmm. Even if you look at the way transfer portal, NIL, that's all one thing. But if you look at the way contact and cell phones and social media has changed the recruiting game, I think that's one of the things that you look at a guy like Cody Epps. Yeah. Cody is a guy who could have gone a lot of places in the transfer portal and stayed at BYU. Obviously, he and Keaton Slovis have a relationship, and that's why Keaton's here and all that stuff. But you look at the power and the quality of athlete that BYU is able to recruit today and compete in the Big 12. I think that talks about the way that this staff has evolved and changed. And I give Tom Homo a lot of credit for giving guys like Kalani Sitake the room to be his own man. Mm-hmm. But I also say the same thing I told you last time. I think Kalani has evolved and made tough choices and tough changes in his game. Yeah. Because I think if we're being honest, Dilemma, this team wasn't going to win if he had just stayed the way it's always been. No, I think he had to change.
You think about last time this team, BYU, played Arkansas was – early on, but it was the last straw at that point. It's like, hey, we cannot keep on doing this. We cannot, just give up, 50 points to a decent team granted, if you're going up against a team that's going to the playoffs, then that's one thing. But, you give up, you have that kind of defensive performance. And it's okay. Right after that, Kalani takes over the defense, and eventually Tuiaki resigns and he leaves. But it ushered in Jay Hill, and at the same time, to your point, when we talked about this, those are tough decisions, man. As a human being and a guy that cares about the people that are in your family and your circle, man, those are tough decisions to make. But you're getting paid to do that as the head coach of any institution, and BYU is no different. And so you got to go, going in, knowing that you're going into the Big 12, you got to make big boy decisions, and that was one.
And by the way, it's always nice to have a Papinga on staff too. You can never go wrong.
Yes,
it's good to have the intensity.
Oh,
I
so
love
intense, man.
Just having Kelly on camera in that look of I'm ready to go. If you're not going to do what I tell you, I'm going to put on a helmet and pads. I love. And shout out to Brady, by the way, who's going through some stuff in his personal life. But
his family. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Brady. But I think it feels more like a staff. Before I ask you about the Big 12, let me ask you about TryDayTrading.com, who always presents Alema's appearances on the show. Tell my listeners and viewers why they should go to TryDayTrading.com.
Well, we're just talking about how you recruit. One of the things that you can do is that you just be attractive. That's what Tri-Day Trading, that's the recruiting approach is all about that. We can improve your bottom line, and we're all looking for something in that regard. And you think about where we are as far as the economy is concerned. We got the big announcements coming out about inflation tomorrow by our government, and you're wondering, thinking to yourself, it's like, man, what can I do? I'm going to take another job. Well, if you're going to take another job, do something that is in your control, and that's what Tri-Day Trading is all about. You can day trade and TryDayTrading.com. They will show you the way. And the thing is that you can start to get some income coming in a pretty quick fashion, and they will teach you the ropes of how to day trade, and they're invested in you and in your success because it's a partnership with Tri-Day Trading. So they're going to fund an account for you to be able to trade using their money, and you will keep a portion of those funds, up to 80% of what you make. And they want to make sure that you're making money so that everybody wins here. I mean, this is a team. And the beautiful thing and the attractive part about it was, well, a couple of things. Number one, this is a company that has been around for over a decade. They're here in Utah. They're people that I can trust, and they have my best interest in mind. And this is a try before you buy. All it is a $10 donation. It's not going to Tri-Day Trading. It goes to a specific charity. Every month they make a different donation to different charities. But that $10 is basically your skin in the game so that you can get 30 days of access to all of the resources available at Tri-Day Trading. And you're going to get a coach that's going to be able to walk you through the different things, and everybody is different. So you're going to have a coach that is going to be suited to you to be able to teach you how to day trade. And these are the things that all of us are looking for, to be able to get some extra income coming in a way that I can control it in my hours. And I can do that before I go to work in the morning, and spend a couple of hours online trading, and then go to my regular job. Eventually, it may be a case where, it's getting so good that my regular job becomes obsolete, and I just day trade. And I know a lot of people that do that. So if we pique your interest and it sounds attractive, right, which is the whole recruiting, part of this is that it's, attraction. If it sounds good, all you have to do is go to TryDayTrading.com. I tell people it's really simple. Go to TryDayTrading.com. There's some videos on there that you can watch. Then you can set yourself up to get a call with somebody from Tri-Day Trading, and any of the questions that weren't answered in the video, you can get those answered by somebody personally, and then it's a $10 donation, and you got 30 days to figure it out. And I promise you, if you're watching, you can figure this out within 30 days, whether or not it's right for you. And most people that I talk to, it works for them.
Yep. And what do you always say? If you can't figure it out in 30 days, you're probably not going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And if it's not for you, you can walk away.
Yeah.
That's what the flexibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of it. TridayTrading.com presents Lemma Harrington on the Monty Show. Before I let you go, I want to get your thoughts on the Big 12 because I know that Texas and Oklahoma obviously are on the way out, but I don't know how anybody's not impressed with what we saw out of Texas when they went to Tuscaloosa. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're used to seeing Nick Saban win big games. We're not used to seeing Texas go on the road and win big games. That was really impressive. Were you impressed with, and are you impressed with Texas?
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, when I came in '96, it was, came to this market, right? I came back to Utah and covered the team, which was Steve Sarkisian and the '96 team that goes to the Cotton Bowl, right? Kale Kalalui and that group, right? And it was such exciting football, and the team that wins 12 games of the season and probably should have gone to a Alliance Bowl, right? It was the Bowl Alliance before the BCS. To see Steve Sarkisian, especially with the road that he's walked, have the success that he's having in Texas. And I think, most of us understood, okay, he's taken over a tough situation here at Texas, and it's probably going to take some time. Well, I think those things are starting to come to fruition. And it was the pupil versus, the teacher last week. And to see Sark have that kind of success was I think exciting for people that still connect with Steve Sark, because we're always the people that are like, when they're doing well, we always claim them. When he's in down, having down and out, it's hard to. It's like, oh man, I'm that's the guy. I don't remember him, but we claim him when he's. And I claim him ups or downs, and I'm happy for his success. And that's just. Understand Texas is going to leave. So how did Baylor do? Well, Baylor looked pretty good against Utah, and they fumbled that in the end. But Utah's also in the Big 12. So, I can look at that in a game that's not against BYU and say, hey, that's a conference, ally that's going to be part of our conference. I want them to do good. I want all the teams that are part of the Big 12 to be able to perform well, because the bottom line is we got the SEC and the Big 10. Where are we going to fall in the end of that? Are we going to be, respectable? Are we going to be, a team or a conference, I should say, that people are looking at? And however this thing evolves and develops overall, you want to be in a competitive situation. So if there are more dominoes or chips that fall here, that you're putting yourself in a position to be able to be included, right? Because you have to be relevant. And you can't be relevant if your conference is no good. And so you want those teams that are in your conference to be successful.
Well, when you have Colorado and Nebraska pulling 8.8 million viewers next to a Texas game that was 10 million, that's the conference, the future of the Big 12, I think, is very bright. Lemma Harrington, always good to see you, my man. Glad you're doing well.
Great seeing you. Love the conversation. Thanks.
You bet. There you go. Lemma Harrington, TridayTrading.com. Love Lemma. I his point about you want this conference to do well, exactly right. I think, and you've said this about Deion 100 times, like, you don't have to like Deion, but if you're a fan of the Big 12, I think you have to root for him, because Lemma's right. The future of this conference, I think, is so bright right now. If you consider that Utah and Baylor, that's a Big 12 game next year. And I look at Deion, that's a Big 12 game. Look at what Colorado and Nebraska mean to the history of the Big 12. I just feel like there's so much momentum. How good Kansas is right now. Yeah. How good K-State is. How good, and I understand they're leaving, but Texas is. And Oklahoma, I think it feels really good to see this conference come together, because BYU is going to be better and better and better every single year. I don't know if Dana Holgerson makes it or not at Houston, but Houston's not going to be down long. I think TCU, like, there's not a team in this conference that you're like, yeah, they're never going to, well, Iowa State. But anyway, the point is, there's not a team in this conference that's not going to win.
Yeah, I mean, next year, because of, all this movement and realignment that we've had, the Big 12 is going to be deep, and they're going to be deep sell. And I think the number of halves in that conference is going up. And I think that, this Deion Sanders thing and Colorado thing, the only question is, how many games are they going to win? I mean, do they even sniff, 6 wins? Is this just a non-con fluke, let's say?
A non-con fluke.
Is it hey, you won early in the season, but you guys suck now because you lost to Oregon and USC? That's what I think for Colorado, you have to consider is that, yeah, you're having success now, but what happens after that first loss? How do you bounce back? What is this team like? Well, obviously, Deion's going to lead them. Obviously, he's going to be on message and leadership, and he's going to be doing what he does. But again, you have to see it on the field. So if you lose to Oregon and then you lose to SC, how do you bounce back? I think people believe that Deion can be, 7 wins. I think they believe that after what they've seen, what they have to work with.
This is why the disappointment in Lubbock. This is why Tyler Shuck is so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Because I had anticipated Texas Tech being better. I know that Sonny Dykes is going to turn TCU.
Right.
I firmly believe they're an October, November performer. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. No idea. UCF with Plumlee being hurt now, that's so disappointing. Because he had a chance to beat that. UCF with John Reese in there has a chance to beat anybody that they're going to go against.
100%.
And now you feel like that's not the case because he's hurt. But what do I always say? Hey, you can't have running quarterbacks. And BYU with Keaton Slovis, he's not going to be a guy that's going to run around and throw his body down at the goal line. He's going to throw you to victory. And again, BYU, I was really impressed with the way their offense bounced back. You've got to get guys healthy. Mm-hmm. Beavers on a rampage for $2 says, I will never watch if LeBron James gets his son on the team. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Katie Rader says, yep, changed the NFL as well. Massive changes in Texas high school football. Yeah, we should probably talk about that at some point too. Katie also says, I think if BYU has gone after Leach once upon a time, would have been amazing. Yeah, the old pirate. I had a good talk with Dana Holgerson at Big 12 Football Media Days about Mike Leach. Yeah, he was such an interesting dude. Gary Wolf, BYU has historically been a QB juggernaut. Not this year, though. I don't know that we could say that BYU's not. That Keaton Slovis is
Let's
done.
see how he performs this week.
I mean, Arkansas is a big step up, and then you have Cincinnati coming in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're going to find out what that offense is. Bottom line, you guys, we'll never know what Keaton Slovis can be at BYU until his best receivers are on the field.
Yeah.
Period. Like, you just can't. Yeah. You can't continue to play shorthanded. They've got to get healthy. There is no doubt about that. James. Hello, James. Would Cliff Kingsbury be willing to coach in college again if Dana Holgerson gets fired? If you want to keep running the spread, Kingsbury would be a good option. I think certainly he would.
Yeah, I think his time in Arizona was rough, man. And I think with where that organization's headed and all the allegations coming out now and everything, you start to understand that, hey, maybe it wasn't so much that Cliff Kingsbury just was an awful head coach. It might have been that, hey, the organization is just terrible.
I actually think Cliffy did a decent job.
Yeah.
I do. He was not ready. I think this time that he's spending at USC is critically important.
Yeah.
I think he needs a little bit of mentorship. He needs a little bit of time to just not be the guy. And I think if you're learning from a guy like, I hate to say his name on the show because Jake always gets a lather up, but you're learning from a guy like
Don't.
Rinkin Kylie, I think, I had to think about that for a minute. You're learning from a guy like Lincoln Riley. You could do a lot worse than that.
Well, and I think that the thing for Cliffy with Lincoln Riley is that they're obviously, philosophically aligned when it comes to how football works, and I think that's a big deal for Cliff Kingsbury. It would be different if he was under some defensive first guy who was a disciplinarian and that just wouldn't be a great fit. But I think that's why SC is doing really well because obviously Lincoln Riley is the face, but Cliff Kingsbury's quality, man. I mean, he is a really good coach, and I think that you're right. He needs that mentorship. He needs to be taught how to lead a program, and then, he'll get another chance at some point.
Fat Jesus says, I'm changing my name to Steve Kimes' burner phone.
Dude.
Man, that lawsuit. How about that whole thing, dude?
Change it to Steve Kimes Raptor.
Oh, man. Arizona, let's see, Bear Down Cats. Arizona almost took out Mississippi State. Jedfish and the Cats are on the move. I love Jedfish. PAC 10.
PAC 10.
Thank you. I love Jedfish. I agree with you 100%. USC is QBU. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Tarrant County boy says not in the NFL. Not in the NFL. USC is not. I agree with that. The eye patch. BYU's a wannabe. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out for certain. let's see. Thoughts on Kansas versus Nevada? Like football? Kansas. I'm a huge Kansas fan. I don't know how you're not rooting for Kansas. Again, if you're a Big 12 fan, how are you not rooting for Kansas to be good?
Yeah.
Somebody explain that to me. Because if Kansas starts winning consistently on the football field, this conference is way better. Way, way better. I'm trying to find the line on Kansas. Kansas has to be 30, right? 28.5. I was close. 28.5. You know, I don't know that they can cover 28.5.
Yeah, it's a big number.
That seems like a huge number on the road.
Yeah.
That'll be Pacific 8:30. I mean, that's going to be a tough 28.5 to cover. Now, let's be honest. It's not as though Nevada is crushing dudes. They're 0-2, and they gave up 33 to Idaho, who might not score 33 points the rest of the year, and 66 to SC. So
maybe they will cover the 28. I mean, dude, if you're giving up that much.
On the road, Nevada's not good. I don't know. I think Daniels is superb. I think the guy who probably flies under the radar most is Devin Neal. I mean, what he's been able to do this year. I mean, the guy's averaging 9 yards a carry.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of the situation is when we're talking about covering numbers is do they get a couple of big plays? I mean, if they can get those, if they can get – but, like, when I say a couple of big plays, like, do you get, the 40-yard bomb that he then runs that, Devin Neal then runs to the end zone? Do you get that type of production? Or is it just – hey, methodically moving it down the field and like we're struggling to get it going a little bit. Obviously a Pacific time zone game, like you were saying. What'd you say it was? 8:30 kickoff Pacific time, I think you said.
Yep.
So I mean, you're a night game there. Like, yeah, there are some factors there, but Kansas, I don't know. Make no mistake about it. Kansas is going to win that game easily. It's just a matter of how much they're going to win it by. So I certainly would not be concerned about it.
Yeah, I think Kansas is going to win that game. It's just a matter of by how much.
Yeah.
I think MJB is onto something. The Mean Green have a good indoor practice facility and good football operations building. Kingsbury going there would give him a chance to establish he can coach.
I think he's done that already, though, dude.
I don't think it's a question of can he coach.
Yeah. I think it's situational. It's philosophical. I mean, again, Cliff Kingsbury. Dude, remember why the Cardinals brought him in? Cliff Kingsbury got hired because the Rams brought in McVay. And the wave in the NFL was to bring in the young head coach who was offensive-minded. And, again, you brought Cliff Kingsbury in on the heels of firing a coach who had 1 year. And, by the way, you moved on from Josh Rosen at the same time. So you rolled over your head coach, you drafted Kyler Murray, and you brought in Buddy. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not as though he was given a perfect situation.
But you're not going to North Texas with all due respect.
No.
I mean, he has NFL jobs he'll be a candidate for, certainly. He's a good-looking, young, hip, energetic coach that GMs and owners like.
He's not a trouble guy off the field or away from the facility.
No. And he's shown that his offenses score points when his quarterbacks are over 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, okay, that was probably too much.
Not unrealistic, though.
Not a lie. I just, 21-point spread, I take Kansas. Yeah, it's 28.5.
It's one more score.
Oof. Ron Loney says, take Kansas in the spread. Idaho beat Nevada by 27 points. Yeah. Cliff versus Tom Herman. Tom Herman. How does Tom Herman recover? You want to talk about a guy that needed Texas?
Yeah.
And that Texas needed? Tom Herman should have been. Man, Tom Herman should have been better at Texas and Houston. Where's Tom Herman now? Florida Atlantic. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think we need to update Prize Picks real quick.
Why?
Because I want to see where your boy Zach Wheeler's at.
Yeah, well, he's not in a good place.
Let's do a quick update. Quick update here.
Where's he at? So the number was 6.5.
4 Ks. He's got 4.
And I didn't do it. I did not take him.
Oh, you took what's his face from the Cubs. That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Javi.
Yes.
That's right.
I took Javi.
Yeah.
All right, real quick before we get out of here. National Video Game Day.
Yeah.
Today is National Video Game Day. What was your favorite video game as a kid? Hands down, easy, Nintendo Super Mario Brothers. I used to go straight home. Me and my brother would fight over the controller and just constantly set high scores. And then we couldn't set high scores anymore because it was so high. I loved that. And then there was a different version of Mario Kart that I loved playing.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my games as a kid.
Yeah, my games as a kid were very simple. Backyard baseball on Nintendo
Oh, my
Color.
God.
My favorite. As a kid, that was my favorite game to play. It wasn't even close. As a teenager, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. Those are my favorites. Also had a lot of fun on the old Halo machine, which I still think to this day is iconic. So, yeah, what's going on here? You
My
okay?
prize picks didn't get in.
Again?
My prize picks did not get placed. I am so pissed. I am
Dude,
so pissed.
okay,
I had a great prize pick set up. I mean, I had a great prize pick set up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that is frustrating. And now the Mookie Betts is not a discount anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's a kick in the balls. All right, pitcher strike. I'm going to go with Javi for pitcher strikeouts again.
Yeah, you can still play it. You can still do the Mookie discount.
I lose. No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Where?
Is it not there anymore?
No.
Oh, damn.
It's not there anymore.
Damn.
Oh, come on, man. That's really I must have forgot to hit the Cody Bellinger for fantasy score. And then I probably need...
You need a third now.
I need a third now. And
Can you go MLB Live? Can you get Zach Wheeler on strikeouts?
MLB Live. We're MLB Live. Let's see. I'm at prizepicks.com.
Yeah.
Use the promo code Monty.
Yeah.
And let's see. Pitcher strikeouts. No, I cannot. I can get Verlander. Lance Lynn, two strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Against, but it's against San Diego.
Yeah, it's brutal.
No, I don't think I want to do that.
It's brutal.
Oh, you guys, that's so disappointing. Where do I go here? I probably go to, I have a pitcher strikeout. Where's my guy pitcher fantasy score? Where's my pitcher fantasy score? Let's see if I can get my Rockies guy. Nope, it doesn't offer them to me. Pitcher strikeouts, does it? Where's my strikeout guy for the Rockies? Flexen is 3.
Okay.
Man, that is disappointing.
Man,
I'll go Michael Wacha more.
Okay.
Dadgummit.
Flex playing?
Yeah, I guess so.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, that hurts.
Man.
And it will not let me flex play that? It will not let me flex play that.
Man, you are just getting piped right now. This is terrible.
Farg me.
This is brutal.
Farg me.
That's
in frustrating.
Are you going to play it or no?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I just did.
Yeah. Dang, man.
Mookie Betts, it was easy at half a fucking base. Mookie Betts was 0.5 more. Hit the more button, hit the more button, sir. And Zach Wheeler just gave up another home run. I had him pitcher fantasy score 26.5 less. I was Zach Wheeler less on pitcher fantasy score. He's getting shelled. He's giving up 6.
Damn.
Chicken and a biscuit. It's fixed against me. It's not. Tarrant County boy says fart sound.
Dude.
He also says Monty's not up for good bets. I can't, and I do that. That's my fault. That's my fault. Kaufman says Gran Turismo. Okay, you must be youngin. Gary Wolf, Donkey Kong.
Yes,
oh my God, Donkey
yes.
Kong.
Yes.
Donkey Kong was amazing.
Yes.
Tarrant County boy. I love Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom at the arcade. Galaga at the arcade.
Galaga on Xbox.
Oh my God. No.
Why do you need it on an arcade machine, dude? Like, why?
Can I just punch you in the face?
No, you can't.
Just one time, please.
I knew today would be shitty.
Mom, Galaga on the Xbox. No.
Yeah.
At the
we had great memories of playing Galaga on the Xbox, and now you hate it. Yeah, like now you hate it, dude.
No, it's not that I hate it. We're talking about our childhoods.
It is what it is.
I used to go to.
Have your childhood.
We lived
I
in
know the Xbox.
I know. You had a terrible childhood. You had everything handed to you. As a kid, I used to live in suburban Chicago. We would drive into the city. My parents owned their own business. And next door, there was like a burger place, like a Crown Burger. Think about Crown Burger, your favorite one-off burger place. And they had video games in the back. And it was a quarter. Remember when you would drop a quarter into an actual video game? That's playing Galaga. Jim Choi says any pinball machine with a fine lady picture. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's see. Couple of tips. Bear down cats. Is there any way the Big 12 can swap out Scum Devils for Pitt or Oregon State? Bear down.
You fucking donkey.
Come on, guy.
He said Scum Devils.
Come on, guy.
Oh, man. Could you imagine swapping? Oh, man. Lance Johnson for $2. 28.5 points is a teaser line. Take the points in Nevada. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's not that difficult, is it? It is not that difficult. Play the music. I'm so mad about my I screwed up my prize picks.
That's a rough one, dude. I can't even lie. I get it.
The Monty Show presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Even they know to say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.